Morning, everyone. Welcome to my wood. I'm glad you jumped on my wood this morning. It's gonna be a good fast one, hard and sometimes rigid, but we'll get there. Dig jokes are awesome. But anyways, it's Fan Friday. That also means it's very random Friday, very off the cuff, not like one certain topic, but we do have topic today. We're gonna be talking a little science with Landon here in a little bit. But Red Eye wants a refund. Red Eye can get a dick in the mouth. Anyways, starting next week, I'm gonna try. This is not a guarantee, but starting next week, I'm gonna be doing a weekend show on Twitch. So maybe that'll work out. Also, next week I've got a few guests planned. As far as I know, so far, if nobody backs out, Monday we've got Vadim Newquist. I'll bring other people as well as a panel. Tuesday we have Ben, and we have this other girl that I booked. She's going to be on. She's a YouTuber. She isn't like a big time YouTuber, but she's pretty cool people. I've kind of looked into it, and I like her attitude. She's going to be on there as well. Wednesday we got Girl Does Rant, which I'm looking forward to because I really like her titties. And I was on her show last week. It was pretty fun. And I don't know beyond that, but we're going to try to book some more people as well. So look forward to that next week. Now it's time for me. Oh, as always, at the end of the show, we'll take Q&A and tips. And you Patreons, if you want to work on them, we need them. We need the tips, and we definitely need the Patreons. We'll do that at the end of the show. So let me introduce the panel today, the serious political panel on Meet the Press. We've got my British chick with a dick, first time on the show, Oculus. What's up?
Hi.
Hi. Like, want some crumpets with my cock? I don't know why I said that. I shouldn't have said that. We also got my little Canadian lesbo, Queen Tide Pod. How you doing, baby?
Good.
See, I'm very, very cool with the queer crowd, man. I got 2 trannies and a lesbian on here. I'm very down with the queer crowd. We also got the lovely, beautiful, sexy Landon O.
And I'm out of the closet heterosexual.
He's out of the closet heterosexual. He gives anybody head. Hedro. And we also got that darn tranny, Alexis. How you
Or
doing,
he used
man?
to call me that damn tranny.
I used to, but the R and the M look like a damn M together, and I used to call it the damn tranny all the time. But yeah, so anyways, we're joined with Alexis, and how you guys doing? Hope everybody's well.
Yes. Hello from your friendly secular astronomer, and hello there, great Pimpmunk.
Yes, hello. I want to touch on this one more time. We talked about it yesterday. I will not be getting my channel back for 3 months, and the reason is Kratom. Believe it or not, I lost my channel because of Kratom, because YouTube deems it to be dangerous. YouTube is the gods of the world to say what's dangerous or not, I guess. But they're also going after marijuana channels too. So. But apparently, I had my little link in the description, and that's the thing. I got kicked off because of a link, not because I said something, because I had a link in my description. So it's crazy. But apparently, I got Kyle Klinsky to retweet me. So thanks to Ben for that. But anyways, I'm not going to stop talking about Kratom because I think Kratom is a very, very good thing. But whatever. So I will be here on, and I tell you what, if this becomes more successful, the show right here, if it comes, where I want it to be, we may even leave the show here and this become the Morning Wood channel. This is might as well, if I build the audience and this is what I'm building it with, this may just become the Morning Wood channel. We'll just have to wait and see on that. And so, yeah, I'm pissed off about it, but there's nothing really I can do about it. We just got to keep on going. Anyways, we're going to talk about science here in a little bit. I asked Landon to do something for me last night for the show, and he did it. But we're going to talk about that in a little bit. Well, there was one little topic I wanted to touch since I had two transgender people on the show. There's something I wanted to ask because these two know each other very well as well. I mean, they're very, very close people to each other.
Mhm.
What is the difference? I mean, how big a difference is it being a tranny in the UK and a tranny in the United States?
It's cheaper in the U.S., but it's quicker in the U.S.
What?
I mean, it's cheaper in the U.K. Yes.
Well, you're talking about the surgery?
I'm
In
talking
general,
about everything.
It's cheap. The process, transition process is cheaper
Oh,
in the
okay.
UK.
Yeah, so like it basically, if you're born in Britain, it's way cheaper, but takes longer, you know, to be able to do.
For those that haven't transitioned, what does it cost in the UK? You know, for example, what's cheap versus in the US? If we were so bold to ask.
Oculus?
it wouldn't really cost anything because it's all free on the NHS. But cosmetic stuff like laser hair removal,
Yeah.
that's pretty expensive.
Oh, so you oh, wait a minute. You got that evil free healthcare thing going on, right? Oh, yeah.
Someday the U.S. will join the rest of civilized countries and have a civilized healthcare system. Someday the people of the U.S., and that's who I blame,
Yeah.
will insist that their politicians get together with the rest of the civilized world.
Since we mentioned that, my dad when he was in the hospital, he had a nurse from the UK. It was a male nurse, and he was from the UK. And he told me, he said that one of the biggest things they bitch about here in America is, well, the wait. You have to wait longer. He said that is simply not true. He said it's simply not true. He said you don't have to wait any longer than you would here.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's crazy, but that fucking healthcare thing pisses me off. But yes, yeah, so it doesn't. So that's why it's cheaper, because a lot of it's free. That makes sense. Okay, what about the social aspect of it? Do you guys find it which place is more acceptable? I figure Oculus has got more of an acceptable place than you do because you're from the South,
especially North Carolina with like the anti-trans bills and shit.
It's pretty good here. I mean, like, I had a job and I started, cross-dressing there, and it just, no problems. They even said I could just use the woman's bathroom, no problem.
Yeah, okay, cool. I actually got it, which was pretty neat. I think if I'm not mistaken, the first time Alexis ever used the public bathroom as the female bathroom was with us in Charlotte. Am I right?
Yep, that was the first time I ever used the female restroom.
She felt real comfortable. I think it was because I was there, and she knew if anybody said anything, I would have popped them in the fucking jaw.
Yeah. Plus, Rachel girl went in with me, so it was like, yeah.
And if anybody would have said anything there, I would have beat the fuck up, because I'm that guy, Alexis.
He is that guy.
I'm that guy. That's I don't really do inside jokes, but I'll explain that there was this dude who was trying to impress this black girl there one day. And he was like trying to act like a badass. He's, oh yeah, I'm that guy. I'm that guy. Like, yeah, you that guy, get your ass whooped. But yeah, so I know Alexis's story, but was your family accepting?
Oh yes, pretty much all of them. My stepdad is like 70 or something, so he was a bit, it took a while for him to accept it, but he's good now.
Cool. Well, that's good. I mean, older people, you got to give a little bit of time to. I mean, it's something new for them.
Hey, come on. I was quite accepting. Actually, it was kind of funny. I mentioned about Alexis, when you heard, the darn tranny and you're transitioning. I thought you were actually a lady transitioning maybe the other direction. You just started, right? I didn't realize you were sort of well on the journey. So,
it was funny because I had just started. So basically what you saw was, John, not Alexis, and thought John was a chick.
But you were behaving, in all respects, at least over social media, like as you are now, right? That's what.
Yeah. There you go. Well, I got a confession. I'm actually a female that became a male.
I know a couple of those.
I don't. I have never actually sat down and had a conversation with female to male tranny. I've had many with male to female, but not none with female to male.
You can. I'll get you in contact with one of my best friends. I'm
honestly, I relate more to you because I like chicks. I like talking to females, right? That's my thing. So, like, I have never, and this is not just trying to seem cool or nothing, but I have never talked to Alexis and thought guy. Never have I ever. And the only thing look guyish about her is her voice, and she's got a dude's voice. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
She's like all this little feminine looking thing, and all of a sudden, hey, how you doing? What the fuck? Nigga, what's going down? But yeah, she's cool though.
That's why I don't talk in public.
Yeah. So how big is your penis, Queen Tide Pod?
0 inches.
Lucky.
I wanted to bring you in the conversation. You was just so quiet over there.
So tell us. I was curious. Tell me about your handle, Queen Tide Pod. What's that? How did that come about?
That's a troll name. That's a troll name right there.
It's from like the eating Tide Pods meme. It was originally delicious Tide Pod, but like because with my previous usernames, I've always been mistaken for a guy. I added in Queen so that there would be no more confusion with that.
Well, I mean, once they seen your tits, I don't think there's much confusion.
No, I just mean like if I'm typing or if like say I'm in Discord and I'm just talking, because I've been told by some people that they can't tell if I'm like a woman in her 20s or like a 14-year-old boy.
How do you tell by text though? That's the thing.
Yeah.
I don't know Alexis by her voice.
No, like voice. No, well, I guess just because like to call someone he is the default if you don't know their sex.
You don't assume anyone's gender.
So we should ask, what are your preferred pronouns today?
Mine is QR2000. Dude, I'm sorry. You're either he or she.
I prefer 127.0.0.1, the local host IP address.
Well, there you go. I prefer Big Daddy. I got a discussion one time with this one SJW chick in Philadelphia. She had that hat on, and then we got into, unapologetically black, and then I asked her, has anybody ever asked you to apologize for being black? And it stunned her. She couldn't believe I asked that question. And then she had this like thing about call me by my pronoun. And I'm like, okay, what's your pronoun? And she's like, he, they, she, ours. You got 100 fucking pronouns, and you want me to remember all this shit.
The pronouns, which are like Z's, Zax.
Yeah, dude, it changes.
You should have just said by my pronoun.
Yeah.
Hello, by my pronoun.
Yeah, that's what I should say.
It's like Sophie's Choice. You can only pick one.
It's like you're the fucking devil-possessed chick in the Bible. I am Legion because we are many. It's fucking.
And for the YouTube censors, that bottle he's drinking does not contain kratom.
No, this contains Dr. Pepper, which probably get me banned eventually anyway, because it's not the most healthiest drink in the world, so it's dangerous. And look, I smoke all the fucking time, and this is way more dangerous than kratom, and I've never been kicked out. Oh, they're gonna keep me off of cigarettes. I need to shut the fuck up.
I mean, you can't smoke real cigarettes on TV, so eventually they'll be like, why not on YouTube?
It's ridiculous. It is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life. And let me just say one more thing about that. This could have been simply taken care of if they would have just messaged me and said, we don't want you talking about kratom. I would have took the link down immediately.
I'm going to issue a complaint to them about this. Because I think, again, it is inappropriate for them to retroactively go back and say, oh, you had a thing here in So Community Strike You. If they're going to change the rules, they should then tell people, here are the new rules. You can't use blah. You can't advertise blah, right?
It's ridiculous. And you can't be the, what is the word I'm looking for? Is it arbitrary? No.
Arbitrator.
Arbitrator of what is healthy or not. I mean, YouTube is, what are they working for the FDA? Oh, but there is big pharmacy ads on YouTube videos. There is ads for pills that have 462 goddamn warnings at the end of it. You know, this may cause bumps on your testicles. This may cause your butthole to start speaking. You know, there's like all these side effects, but yet that's perfectly okay. But a natural fucking tea plant? Oh my God, it's the devil.
Kratom is the devil.
It just don't make no fucking sense. Kratom is the new weed, right? They're going after Kratom like they did weed. That's what this is. You know, God forbid, I don't believe in God, but God forbid somebody use something besides a fucking opiate pill.
No, but the government makes more money on the opiates.
Exactly. And, you know, and I've had people come to me, well, the FDA doesn't approve it. So what? The FDA approves, what is that, fentanyl, what is that word, that one pill?
Fentanyl?
Fentanyl. The strongest fucking opiate pill there is. It kills people daily. Daily. The FDA approves it.
FDA approves a lot of shit that isn't good for you.
And the FDA doesn't approve weed, and we know the benefits of marijuana. I mean, that's science. I mean
YouTube isn't adherent to these rules anyway. They can upload whatever videos up they want, but
and you know, and they're gonna take my shit down because of a link to a site who's basically a sponsor of mine. Okay, but then they're gonna put Logan Paul or Jake Paul on the front page, and this dude put a suicide victim on the goddamn video.
Yeah, it was Logan Paul.
It's a problem that YouTube finally has, which is that when you become selective, then you are deemed responsible for the content, right? If YouTube was saying anything goes, and it's up to the person to censor themselves, you know, they're a common carrier. But now YouTube is responsible and liable. So if I would encourage people, if you decide you're going to be offended by someone, sue YouTube, not the content creator, because YouTube is the one supposedly policing their channel.
Yeah, and speaking of suing, a lot of people come to me and say, Pep, you got a case here, you can sue. Maybe, but I don't have the money for that. I can't afford lawyers, and at the end, I wouldn't make. I mean, the only reason I would be doing it would be for, like, you know, a fucking moral victory anyway, because I wouldn't make any money at it. I mean, moral victory is just fine sometimes, but I mean, there's really not a lot I could do. So that really isn't a choice for me. But fuck them. YouTube, but fuck them in the butt. Because, I gotta keep going. And yesterday I had a very bad day, and you know, some friends seen me kind of crack up a little bit, which I don't do rarely. I don't do a lot. What I'm saying is because I got a pride thing. I don't like crying in front of people. I don't mind crying sometimes, but about certain things, I don't know. I'm weird. I'm a big pussy at times. However, we're moving on from that because I'll start getting. I'm about to get angry now thinking about all this shit. Oculus is a cunt. No, I'm joking. So science. You guys like science?
That's okay.
In general, yes.
Well, you do know we have a world-renowned scientist right here on the panel right now. This man has, for the ones who don't know, this man has been all over the world. He studies volcanoes. He studies the big place up there above the earth. With all the, you know, the thing that's got all those fireflies. You know,
Yeah, the giant fireflies in the sky.
The big giant fireflies in the sky. You know, he's a mathematician. He holds what 5 world records?
I've had 8.
He's had 8.
Sorry,
8 world records and the world's largest prime numbers. He don't do math, bitch. He creates math. You know, that's a motherfucker right there. Me, I struggle with 2 plus 2. So it's 7, right?
for some values of 7, yes.
There you go. You can probably break it down to make it 7, I guess. But yeah, anyways, I asked him to do. I asked him to come up with 3 things, scientific things that we probably don't know. That that the layman doesn't know. And so I'm gonna let him go with.
All right. Well, again, good morning, folks. And it's hard to pick which 3 things because the science has found so many things that are quite unexpected, right? And it's not. I'm not trying to list things that might trick you, but there's a lot of things that we discover through the scientific process that surprise us. And
God damn, a demon just arrived.
Shit.
Speaking of energy,
That motherfucker was evil.
Hey.
God, you scared me, boy.
Hold on, just trying to get this shit settled. Go about your business.
Let's let Landon
Settle.
all right. All right. So as I was saying, there are 3. Oh, wait. All right. Okay. So as I was saying, it's hard to pick which 3 things. That was my difficulty when Pimpmunk gave you this assignment. So I figured I'd pick 2 things that were related and a 3rd thing which is current, right? As an example of the vastness of science. So first thing you may not realize is that most of something is nothing. What do you mean by that? Well, you see a big giant rock on the ground, or you see like a weights in a gym, big heavy barbells. There's a lot of stuff, right? Or you see a big truck, you see a large block of something or other, and you say that's a lot of stuff there. But that stuff that you see is mostly empty. Mm-hmm. What do I mean by that? Well, atoms actually are this very, very, very tiny nucleus surrounded by this large cloud of electrons, right? So atoms have positive and neutral charges in the middle and negative charges around the outside edge, but they're really far. So for example, if you were to take the smallest atom, hydrogen, and scale it up to where the nucleus, the proton and nucleus, is the size of a ping pong ball, the nearest electron would be 1,300 meters. That's 4,250 feet away. That shows you in that hydrogen atom how much of it is nothing, right? And most of the mass, most of the heft that you see is in that tiny nucleus. You're typically, less than 1 part in about a little bit over 1,800 is in the electrons. Most of the mass, the 999+%, is in that tiny nucleus surrounded by nothing. So when you see that big giant truck coming towards you, you could say, well, most of that is nothing. So why should I wear it? But I still recommend you move out of the way if the truck's coming towards you.
There's nothing to hurt your ass.
Yes. Now that nucleus area is really dense material. I mean, if you had just a teaspoon of solid nucleus, that teaspoon would weigh over 10 billion tons.
Well, that's how you get the medicine down. You get a teaspoon of that.
Yes. So a teaspoon of nucleus makes a lot of things go down, including gravity and all these other things. So you'd have to have 10 billion tons of stuff smashed together in its nucleus to have just 1 teaspoon size worth of things. That's how much of something is nothing.
Wow.
So most people realize that most of something is nothing. Now, second fact is that nothing is something. What do you mean by that? Well, there's this thing called vacuum. We sit there and say, well, all right, you got a vacuum in space. You got nothing between the nucleus and the atoms. You got, or other places where you pull the vacuum and you remove the matter, and you think you're done. Say, well, there's nothing there. Well, it turns out there's something there. Every time there's energy in that so-called nothing. It's called quantum. It's called quantum vacuum energy. The effects of vacuum energy have been experimentally observed. There's things called Kashmir effect and Lamb shift and so forth. And we can measure the amount of energy that's in nothing, right? Like actually, when you pull a nothing there, you find that there's energy in that void. And it has to do with this weird effect of quantum mechanics. That is effect where we have these virtual particles popping out of his existence, and then combining back and destroying themselves.
That's like my penis.
It's kind of like, it's kind of like saying, well, okay, you got nothing there, and quantum mechanics embezzles energy, pulls out a particle, antiparticle, and then puts them back before before someone notices someone's gone into the till and taken stuff. So quantum mechanics has this states that the lowest energy is really not nothing. There's actually a lower bound energy. Now it turns out that if you use quantum mechanics to try to calculate how much energy should be there, there should be a huge amount of energy around 1 followed by 113 zeros joules of energy per cubic meter. But when we measure it, we have less than 1/1000th of a joule. In other words, the difference between what's measured, the amount of energy measured in vacuum versus what's calculated by quantum mechanics, is off by 120 orders of magnitude. So one might say, we know little to nothing about nothing, and we're still studying it. That's one of it's this cosmological constant problem. This huge discrepancy is something that is very active in working on in physics and cosmology. So most of something is nothing, but nothing is not nothing. Nothing is something. Though when we calculated the difference between what is measured and what is observed is off by 120 orders of magnitude. So
he always makes me feel like a retard. I swear he does.
So I'm just showing you that even science there, but again, science really gets excited when it doesn't understand something. Yeah. Because
I'm science, I don't understand.
It's about questions, and the admission that we don't know is the basis to begin to find out. Dogma says this is truth. This book contains truth by somebody, and you have to believe it. Science says, wow, that's unexpected. We don't know that. Let's go and investigate that. Let's figure out what's going on here, so perhaps we can learn.
That's the most beautiful thing about science. And that was always my argument when I used to argue religion and stuff. I was like, there's the difference between science and religion. Religion thinks they have the answer. Science is seeking the answer.
Yes.
So that's the big difference right there. Science is awesome. And like I said, sometimes you make me feel like I ate ice cream on my forehead because you just... Yeah.
Well, I would say some people have significant foreheads, so there you go.
Well, Bowen. Bowen, 5 gallons of ice cream with that fucking head. But let me we'll get back to your science now. Sure. Let's talk about low energy. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm glad to be finally on. Sorry it took me so long.
The fuck is that accent?
It's an Irish accent, but it's hard to tell sometimes. I'm all over.
You're Irish.
Bit of a fucking mutt.
So you were born and raised in Ireland?
I was definitely raised. I was born here, but very quickly we moved over to the UK. Then I moved back, and then I spent a lot of time in the States. Then I'm kind of been all over, so I'm just a mutt. I'm just a fucking mongrel.
So not to be offensive, but are you when you say Ireland, are you referring to the island of Ireland, or the Republic of Ireland, or the occupied part of Ireland?
I'm in Leitrim right now. Although the border is just a few miles up the road, but everywhere it is a few miles up the road in Ireland. So
So which side of the EU are you on? Are you on the?
Oh, we're part of the EU. I use euro, but sometimes I wish I could use sterling because it's so much better right now.
Do you speak Gaelic?
I didn't have to because my parents are English. I had a choice early on. And I said no.
Because I think
when the hell am I going to use that shit?
It's just
I've got a few phrases.
sounds so awesome though.
It's all right, but remember, we had to be forced to learn that shit, or at least they did. I was in a corner doing my homework before anyone else, so I didn't have to do it when I got home. So,
I want to discuss some chat. Maybe I guess I said a victim of suicide, and they're making a big deal about that for some reason. It was just a word. When I said victim, I wasn't even thinking about he's a real victim. But in a way, if you want to break it down, you can be a victim of suicide. You're a victim of depression, a victim of your own mind. So you can be a victim. But maybe I chose the wrong word. You're making a big deal out of nothing there, chat.
I'm a victim of various people that I know that have committed suicide.
Yes.
And suicide sucks. And their committing suicide has been
there's definitely they leave a trail of victims when they commit suicide. That's a damn shame.
it just passes the pain on. That's all it does.
But anyways, I just want to know, maybe I used the wrong word, but we're talking about other things, and they're like fixated on fucking suicide right now. Suck my dick.
Okay, that's fine. It's just honestly, China.
Anyways. Now, derailed. This show's always derailed. I go, especially on Fridays. Fridays is a fucking fuckery show. But I just want to say one more thing to Irish dude. Actually, two more things, actually. I actually have he doesn't come around much, but I had a good friend from Ireland. He lives in Kentucky now. His name is Stephen. You know Stephen Landon?
Yes.
He's a good guy. But nothing is, your Irish accent, he's been in Kentucky for so long. He's got like a bit of a redneck accent and Irish together, and it sounds like a fucking retard. But your accent is so cool, and I want to fuck you.
Well, that's so weird that you say that because I think the exact same to you. Plus, I really want to see that third ball. I really want to see that fucking third ball.
I laugh when people want to make fun of my voice and shit because it's always straight dudes. It's always straight guys who want to call me ugly and make fun of my voice. And I'm like, this voice makes pussies wet, nigga. What you talking?
It is a sexy voice.
I have a sexy
incredibly
voice.
Sexy voice.
I got that raspy southern sexiness going on.
Mm-hmm.
And and see, that's another thing. People think that they're insulting me when they do that. Dude, that's part of my gimmick. I purposely did that.
Yeah, and if you've ever heard Mama Pimp, then you understand where Pimpmunk gets his voice from.
Mom's got that. Mom sounds like an old black lady. We used to have a lot of black friends, so we kind of like, and my accent's different. It doesn't sound like Mississippi. It doesn't, because what it is, I grew up around black people and I had white family, so I mixed the two and I came up with my own fucking dialect.
But in your case, Pimpmunk, your intonation and your context is everything, because you could say and you could say right?
Yes.
And they mean different things.
It's like the word fuck. I mean, seriously, my can mean a million things. Like if I'm sad, or if I'm happy, if I'm horny, it's got a different meaning. It's like honey child or sweetie down here in the South. Let me tell you something. When a Southern woman calls you sweetie, it's probably an insult.
80% of the time with you, boss.
and that's why when you say yes sir, yes ma'am, it can be your sign of respect, or it could be a sign of ghosts, jumping the lake.
Yes, absolutely, it can. Yes, sir. It's all about how you deliver it. And you just gotta know how to deliver it. You can say that. You can take any word really and put a different meaning to it. It's how your body language, your eye, you look at your eyes, like, you're beautiful. I just called you ugly. Anyways, I guess most Southern women hate me if that's the case. Okay. And anyways, I forgot what's. Oh, you got any more? You got another science thing, right?
Sure. Okay. So you wanted the third thing. Let's take something more topical. Maybe people don't realize is about the Kilauea volcano, one of my favorite volcanoes. It's on the Big Island in Hawaii, and people, you'll probably hear in the news about Kilauea's erupting. And what people don't realize is Kilauea's eruption started back in January 3rd, 1983. That's probably older than some people here in this this chat. And in my even in my age, this eruption's been going for most of my life. So when you hear about Kilauea's erupting, what you really need to understand is that it's been erupting for quite some time. Since it started in 1983, the Kilauea volcano has put out 4 cubic kilometers of lava. That's about 1 cubic mile of lava that's come out of this volcano.
Okay.
So Kilauea is on the Big Island. The Big Island is all volcanoes. The big one, the big mama there is Mauna Loa. Kilauea is on the southern and eastern corner of the Big Island. And you look at the surface of Kilauea, most lavas there are quite young. In the last 1,000 years, 90% of Kilauea has been covered by lava. The oldest exposed rocks on the surface date back only 2,800 years. Kilauea broke above the ocean about 600,000 years ago, and so the mass you see there is fairly recent. It's on the Pacific hotspot, and it's had these long periods of eruption. Islands call it Madame Pele, and Madame Pele's house that she normally is supposed to stay in is a place called Loudmouthed, and it means the house of ferns, right? And one of the things that Hawaiian sort of mythology talks about is they have family troubles. The gods there have family troubles, and her sister, the god is the ocean, and her always getting into fights where she throws her children, the lava, the rocks that come out are considered Pele's children into the ocean. The ocean comes back with tsunamis, and a lot of what the Hawaiians do is to try to keep all the gods calm and calm down, settle down, stay in your place, just chill out, have a nice peaceful time. Don't get all excited although Pele is said to wander around, and so the mythology says this current eruption that's occurring is sort of Pele's wandering. We see that the eruption has gone into a new phase. It's actually, I think it's 61st phase, and a fissure opened up in a housing development area. They were noticing some cracks in the roads, and a road crew went out to sort of investigate and see what's causing these cracks or the fault. And it turned out that's where the magma was coming up, and the guys that were working the roads, they get out of here. The people rushed away, and lava came out of this fissure, started shooting about 10 meters in the air. That's about 30 feet. Some of the big splatters went up to about 100 meters in the air. It was quite a set. And so it was coming out, and people said, okay. And there was lots of earthquakes, right? The area of this zone had over 700 earthquakes in a period of about 2 days. So lots of wiggles. It's kind of fun there, that everything wiggling around.
See, Lane, you're such a fucking psycho.
But as of this morning, so it started coming, as we say, well, the magma's moving there, coming out of this fissure far down from the summit vent, and then this morning it stopped. Right? And that's it, that Pele does these things where you think, okay, the volcano is finally going to erupt here, and it's going to start sending lava out to the north or these housing areas, and it just stopped. Now, whether it's going to start up again, who knows? There still is lots of pressure there. There's still lots of magma moving there. It's just decided either when the magma reaches towards the surface and begins to cool and then comes out as lava, that's the stuff on the top,
Yeah.
and it meets the cold air, it freezes. So is it possible that what happened is essentially the crack is sealed over, or has pressure caused it to move to a different spot?
Wow.
There was a side vent that collapsed. This is the start of this 60-foot phase. That there was this area where most of the lava came out. That pit collapsed. Fell in. It was a big magnitude 5 earthquake, and then lots and lots of tiny earthquakes along to the east of it. This is where that fissure opened up. They thought, okay, she's going to come out here. No, it turns out that's not the case, or at least she's pausing, waiting for something more effective to happen. So, Crawley eruption, been going on for a long time. It's a very, very modern volcano. Lots of lava. Stay tuned.
Absolutely. That's cool. But now, see, you freak me out though, because you get into that like, oh, the earth shaking, that's fun. No, when the earth shakes, my butthole starts to puke.
Well, you were here when you were here when you had an earthquake.
Yeah, I was there when I went to visit Landon last year. I was leaving. I was about to get on my bus and land. And all of a sudden, I was sitting there and I started shaking a little bit. I didn't say, "Oh, that's cool." I went, "Oh, fuck!" And then Landon messaged me.
That's how pink she is.
Landon messaged me. Did you feel that? Wasn't it cool? No, Landon, it was not cool.
So you'll say it's Mother Nature having an orgasm.
Mother Nature can leave me the fuck alone, right? There's people down here, we get tornadoes. Then people go chasing them motherfuckers. What is wrong with? I know they get information and it helps us and stuff. I understand that it's a needed thing, but you got to be out your goddamn mind to go chasing a tornado. Have you ever seen a tornado? Those things are scary. Those things are fucking scary. Go look. I tell you what. If you want to go look at the Tuscaloosa tornado on YouTube. Dude, it was an F5, I do believe. It was the same day Mississippi got hit too by an F5. But of course, Alabama got all the attention because it's a bigger city. Dude, I swear, I went through Tuscaloosa because I lived in Alabama. There was nothing standing. It was so rough. It's a very violent, ugly thing. But I have thought about it. Here's something that I've been thinking about doing, by the way. I've been thinking about trying to get my local meteorologist right here on the show.
Mm-hmm.
And talk about weather and stuff like that. That'd be cool. And get you on, Landon, because it's all science and stuff. And you guys can have a good... I do know one guy. His name is John DeLucic. He's a local guy. He's kind of semi-retired.
Love to talk to the guy.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's an awesome guy. I used to talk to him on Facebook all the time. And me and him, it was funny because me and him, he was kind of, we had the same political ideas and stuff, but he can't really talk about that because he's a public figure. But he does talk about it, but just not on the,
Well, let me just say that it's about people are asking about earthquakes. I mean, Earthquakes are serious things. The time to be serious about earthquakes is now when they're not occurring.
Yeah.
The time to do and prepare your home and to prepare your surroundings, to be prepared, that's the serious part. When an earthquake comes, you might as well write it out, right? It's when you're in an earthquake,
mm-hmm.
you have no choice. You're in an earthquake, right? And if the earthquake is strong enough to do serious damage, you don't even have the ability to move. This notion of go to a doorway and stand in a doorway. Well, when there's a really big earthquake, you can't even figure out which way is up, let alone where the doorway is, right? And so you might as well write it out and get as much enjoyment out of the experience rather than panic.
Yeah.
So be serious. I'm serious about earthquakes now.
Yeah.
So I'm in a room that I know is relatively stable. In my bedroom, for example, the pictures on the wall are bolted to the wall so they don't come flying off if I'm there in an earthquake. Things like that you can do. Bolt your house to the foundation. Strap your water heater in. These are things. That's the time to get serious. Is when you're not in an earthquake. When an earthquake comes, pay attention. Write it out and and at least enjoy the experience.
You know, when I start thinking about weather and stuff like that, earthquakes, tornadoes, I really get to, you know, I start to understand how much control we don't have. We think we're in control. We live in a volatile planet.
Yeah.
We really don't have the control that we think we have.
Yeah, this spherical planet that we're on is all wiggly and wobbly and so forth. This is quite squishy.
Yeah, we live in you know, you start breaking it down, you got tornadoes, tsunamis, earthquakes. It's a dangerous fucking place. I'm never going outside again.
Ocean storms hit Ireland every single winter, and there's at least 5 or 6 people dead. We've just come to accept it now.
Yeah.
There's areas that just have giant dust storms.
And that's the thing about storms. The time to get serious about storms is before they come.
Yes.
If you happen to be caught in it, then pay attention and enjoy the experience.
Yeah.
Rather than be, you know, all.
If you live in the South, most people, like I'm sure Alexis knows about this. And live in the South, especially deep South, is Tornado Alley, right? Most people know what to do. Most people know that you don't go near windows.
Yeah.
You get you know, it sounds good, but the best thing to do is get in your hallway.
Yeah.
Take a mattress. You know, you got to know those rules. But I was here one time when we had a tornado. There was this dude from he's from New Jersey. He started panicking, running around like a chicken without his head. And I'm like, dude, calm the fuck down. Jump underneath this mattress with my fat ass.
Yeah. So it's ironic. You know, all the tornadoes I've experienced have been in Minnesota.
Yeah. Well, Midwest gets hit pretty hard.
Yeah.
You know, one of the worst ones I remember was it went several years back, about 10 years ago. Illinois got hit really, really bad with a tornado.
But you could have tornadoes other places. I mean, we had a tornado here in Sunnyvale. It was only an F1 thing, so it was kind of minor stuff. But you know, it was exciting.
F5s is a bitch.
Yes.
You get above F3 and above, it gets kind of dangerous. I've seen many F1s. You know, I've seen a lot. I've seen several tornadoes that don't touch down. That, you know, they stay in the sky. They're scary looking motherfuckers, man. I'm okay with storms and stuff like that. I'm okay, but once they start talking about tornado, my butthole puckers up a little bit. I ain't gonna lie. My pucker string just go.
I'm the type, like, whenever it's a really bad storm, like during Hurricane Matthew, just sit on my porch and enjoy it.
You know, Hurricane Katrina, it was so rough. You know, when hurricanes hit land, they become tropical storms. We all know that. But Hurricane Katrina was so strong and so tough. By the time it got here in northeast Mississippi, it still had hurricane winds.
Wow.
It was such a strong storm. So I got to feel some of the Hurricane Katrina winds. It was such a badass storm. And the thing about Katrina that always pisses me off is that New Orleans, they deserved all the, you know, the attention they got. But Mississippi actually got hit worse than Louisiana did. And yet nobody was doing a whole bunch of fundraisers for Mississippi. The Gulf got fucking tore up down on the Gulf Coast. Now, I do know the dams broke in New Orleans and everything. That was horrible. But it just seems like everything, like same thing happened with the tornado, the Tuscaloosa tornado. Same fucking tornado destroyed a small town in Mississippi, wiped it off the map. Nobody gave a fuck. They gave a fuck about the big city.
Yeah.
It makes me mad.
So for those that find themselves in a significant earthquake, there's actually something you can do when you're paying attention to what's going on. You know about lightning and thunder, where you see the lightning flash, and you count until you hear the thunder, and that tells you how far away it is. Yeah. Well, there's a similar thing you can do with earthquakes. Right? There's 2 phases of an earthquake.
You put your head between your legs and kiss your ass goodbye.
Well, phase 1 is I call the rattle. You start feeling that you got this high frequency stuff.
Sounds like you're sitting in the dryer.
And then then you get then it all hits. You get this wham, and things start rocking back and forth like the big waves. You hear that, you get so it's a wham, right? So the you might say is the lightning flash, and the wham is the thunder. And you count between when you first start noticing the rattling to when the big shock comes, and it has to do with P waves, pressure waves going through the earth, and surface waves going on the surface. The two travel at different speeds, and for every second between there, of travel, the light rattle goes 8 kilometers or 5 miles every second. So if you have 2 seconds of rattling and then wham, then the epicenter is 16 kilometers or 10 miles away. Okay.
Well, that's right? That's like when I have an orgasm, I have 2 seconds of rattling, then the wham. So if for example you have you it's enough to feel, you can feel it, and let's say you have 6 seconds between the P wave and the S wave, right? Then you said this, well, that's or let's say 10 seconds. That's 80 kilometers or 50 miles away. And that's a big quake, because if you could feel those two things and it's that epicenter is that far away, it's significant. And if you know the fault lines, you can sort of guess as to, you don't know necessarily direction, but you can sort of guess where the epicenter is and perhaps how big it is. So again, it's something that, be worried about earthquakes before they happen. When they happen, just pay attention, write it out, and wait for the next one. And Alexis, when he said P wave, he wasn't talking about a golden shower, so don't get excited.
I was already, damn. I was already on my knees with my mouth open. What are you talking about?
So what's the worst natural disaster you've ever been in, Landon, that you've ever witnessed and been in? Was it the earthquake in San Francisco?
Well, I think the one, the worst earthquake I was in Turkey.
Oh, okay.
And at the time, I was in the Blue Mosque in Istanbul. It's a very famous mosque. There are really beautiful tiles inside, and it was one that was built by Suleiman the Great in I think 1453, or around that time when they conquered Byzantium and took over the place and built this significant mosque. So the earthquake started in the mosque. And people did the worst thing you can, which is try to run out of the building. Well, actually, when the earthquake started, everyone fell down, and people were crawling to try to get out of this building. Now, remember, this building's been there since 1453. It's already been beta tested. That this building has stood the test of time. What do they do? Well, people went out of the building. Now, one of the problems in earthquakes, when they're really violent, is you can't even, it's barely enough to figure out where level ground is, let alone get out of the building. When the earthquake starts slowing down, where you can get up and start trying to run, that's the big problem, because the ground is moving and the buildings on top are moving, right, with the ground. And then the earthquake stops, but the buildings start doing this. They start rocking back and forth. And what happens here, all this awnings, all these exterior tiles start falling down, right? The structure stays up, but the buildings start wobbling back and forth and stuff falls down. So people leave the building right at the best time for stuff to fall down and crush them. Yeah. Right. So when it's violent enough that you to be concerned about structural integrity, stay in the building.
Hell yeah.
When it gets to a point where you think you can run out, stay in the building, because that's going to be stuff where the glass and other things falling down, rubble's falling down, the exterior stucco and tiles and so forth start falling down, and that's where most people were killed, was when it got slow enough that they could run out in panic. Then they got crushed. Now it turned out that there was, I'm not a Muslim, but I was there during sort of the open hours thing, and there was the big imam was in there. This is actually a sort of I think he was nearly blind. So when the earthquake happened, he didn't quite know what was going on because doesn't have this stuff. They could feel it.
Yeah.
And this place was packed. People panicked and ran out, and the only people left in the building are myself and this imam. Now the sounds that earthquakes make are just amazing. You could hear now you can feel and see the waves, but you can also hear the waves going through. And mosques are really cool because they're these nice domed sound things. So that bell was ringing and pulsing, right? The sound inside of this giant, you think of this giant bell, this giant dome, was amazing in terms of how it was amplifying the sounds as well. But this, again, from my point of view of being an infidel, was this gentleman over there who's going like, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? And I came over, he was saying also in Arabic, and I said, do you speak English? He said, yes, I speak English. And I said, we're having, we had an earthquake, but everyone left. But are you okay? Everything's fine. Yeah. He says, well, what's the building? I said, I look up, it said, well, the chandelier is shaking, so forth. But the building has been here for centuries and it continues to go. And he said something about thank Allah or something like that. And where's all the people? Where did they go? Well, they left. I'm here. Do you need help? And so I took the guy out. Helped him out of the building. And at that point, I think the imam was finally figured out he was mad, saying, well, his congregation left out and fled, and a number of them came outside, and coming outside was bad because what I saw was all this concrete dust coming up around the area. It was kind of like a fog of dust. And that's because they built lots of buildings, so-called modern buildings. Those buildings had collapsed. Yeah. And you looked around and you could see the ancient structures from the olden days of Byzantium. You could see Hagia Sophia that's been there since the 4th century or 5th century. And lots of modern buildings were now all pancaked. So it was a serious situation that was there, but I was fortunate. I was in a modern not in a modern building. Now, some of the hotels were built to seismic standards, and those survived. But a lot of the more recent buildings
what always gets me about when these natural disasters happen, you get these people on TV. Thank God he spared my life. What would he hate your fucking neighbor or something?
Yeah. Well, in fact, the imam came out, and people were wanting to know what is tell us what to do. What does this mean? Blah blah blah. And he launched into this sermon. And again, my Arabic is very very poor, but I could tell this guy was pissed. And at first I thought he was upset or frightened, but no, he was upset. And the end, someone said the translation. And I was kind of like going to go shriek away. He's like, no, he held me there. And basically his thing was, you guys are supposed to be devout, and you ran out of the house of God, and this infidel stayed behind just to have out of the kindness to take me out there. How embarrassed are you? For first off, it's like, and it was kind of this interesting religious thing, because it was I'm as I say, I thought for a while of this stuff, but because I'm a agnostic atheist, and he was an infidel, but he was saying, folks, have a little faith. So that was my experience of my worst earthquake.
I would like to be having sex during an earthquake. That would be a cool experience. You wouldn't even have to move. You just lay there. The earth would
do all the job for you.
Yeah, the earth is like a dildo. I don't know what I just said, but anyways,
what's your natural disaster? I guess John would be.
Yeah, that's what I was going to go down to see. Have you ever been in a really bad natural disaster, Oculus?
No, the worst I've had is flood warnings, and then it doesn't even flood.
Yeah, UK is so boring.
Isn't Theresa May a natural disaster? I know Trump is here, but.
What about you, Canadian girl? Do you have a big maple syrup fucking attack or something?
No, we don't really get tornadoes or big hurricanes, but whenever there is a big hurricane in the in the States, we will get the aftermath of that. And like we never really had a earthquake per se, but we have had tremors before.
Yeah. Okay.
You
That's
get all that stuff from space falling in the area. It seems like, between spacecraft and rocks from outer space, they seem to like to hit Canada when they're not hitting Australia.
Yeah.
when you said tremors, I immediately thought about the Kevin Bacon movie. Which sucks.
Works everywhere.
What about you, Irish demon face man?
I like how I've been upgraded from low energy dude to Irish demon face man. It gives me hope.
You should change your name to Irish demon face.
I've kind of got a gimmick now where I just finish everything as low energy something. So
Irish demon face is better.
Maybe for special occasions.
No, it's better.
We'll talk about it afterwards.
No, it's better.
Fine, it's better.
Okay.
You happy? You broke me.
Okay.
All right.
Natural disaster.
Yeah. Same with someone here is from the UK. Which one of you is here is from the UK?
That's me.
Yeah, we don't really have tons and tons of terrible weather, but we do have like storms and flood warnings. We do get flooded. If you've ever seen any of my videos, including the one I made just a few days ago, I'm literally by. Yeah.
Yeah, you've had some.
I have to cook whenever I can.
Pretty significant rainstorms up there.
Yeah, we get tons of so much water and so much flooding, and the embankments overflow. And then next year, everyone says, "Oh no, the government paid an extra $5 million to put something somewhere, and it won't happen again." And it happens again. Besides that, we can get some pretty fierce winters, and they might not be so bad compared to what you guys have to deal with, but we're not prepared for it, so we often don't think ahead. And the elderly, there's usually some poor old person who's found in their driveway, just frozen because they couldn't even get at the door, and that happens at least once a year. Yeah. But I'm trying to think personally. I don't really think so in terms of big ones, but I have been next to a volcano, that up in the Canary Islands. There in Lanzarote, there's a big one that they have.
There's a nice one there. Yes.
Yeah, they throw the chicken in and everything. You can cook your meals over it. It's just been turned into a big tourist trap area. But besides that, no, I have to deal with more man-made disasters, for example, my beard falling apart. I mean, Jesus.
What about you, Alexis?
The worst was, I don't know which hurricane it was because I was like 3 or 4, but I remember one time it was a sunny day and we were having a water balloon fight, and then all of a sudden clouds appeared over us. Everything started like flying around because of the wind, and I remember trying to run inside and literally running it. Like, I'm running as fast as I can, but I'm going backwards. Like, my mom had to grab me just so I didn't, like, fling off into the distance.
There you go.
And I'm not sure if I'm, like, misremembering it, but I do remember running until I was tired and just being like, can someone help me? And then our parents out for a week.
Okay. Well, first off, 2 things I want to... you reminded me, I was just going to tell another story, but when you said about the winter thing, Demon Face Guy, I thought about something. But for a tornado, we'll talk about tornado real quick. It gets really quiet before the tornado hits. It's like a very unsettling peace. It's like, it's very scary. It's very, but other than that, you mentioned the winter, got me thinking, 1994, we had an ice storm here in Mississippi, which was very unusual, and we were not prepared. Deep South was not prepared for a massive fucking ice storm. And I'm talking about, there was a lot of ice. I mean, it was, and nobody had their trees cut, trimmed, or anything. Power lines were destroyed. We went without electricity for 3 weeks. It was horrible. It was the ice storm of '94. We just was not prepared. And
I think you're talking about, because when my brother was a kid, I've heard this story a few times. There was hail coming down like the size of golf balls, and he wanted to go outside and see it. And my mom told him, wait till next time. And he's 27 now, and there's yet to be a next time.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So I guess that's the worst one I went through and it was simply because we were not prepared. So yeah, it was a lot of people were without heat and electricity and all that. So it was kind of rough.
Yeah, I mean, in Antarctica, there's an expression: "There's no bad weather. There's just bad choices of clothing."
Yeah, there you go.
And so the Antarctic summers are typically worse than the worst you might find in places like Minnesota or in like the prairie plains. On the other hand, we're prepared for it. We were dressed up like the Michelin Man, and so when people hear about, it was minus 52 and 100-knot winds, that sort of thing, and they say, well, how can you handle that? Well, the answer is we're prepared for it. We have the prepared clothing, and we're actually quite comfortable. And you ride the storm out, and it's a beautiful sound, and you're prepared, right? The time to get serious about bad weather is before it happens. And doesn't mean you won't get killed. It just means you've at least done your best, given your best shot. And that's the same thing is being unprepared with the wrong clothing can turn a mild storm into a fatal storm.
Well, yeah, being prepared for anything is absolutely. That's what happened to us. We wasn't prepared. This is something really not even remotely close, but when people travel, right? Be prepared for things. You always prepare yourself. I didn't know this. I'm a dumbass, right? Landon taught me so much about traveling. He'd always tell me when I first started traveling a lot, make sure you got this, make sure you got that. Make sure, do you have your bags packed? Yeah. Do you have an extra suit of clothes in your carry-on bag? No. Why? What if you get delayed and they lose your baggage? Oh, okay. So you always have to be prepared. Landon's like my brain Jesus anyway. I said that a million times. He teaches, I'm like a little small retarded child, and Landon's like this very wise man, and he's like, no, don't eat the glue, Pimpmunk. And I'm like, oh, okay.
I used to eat glue.
I don't doubt that a bit, you crazy bitch.
Hey, I mean, I still eat glue.
Let me tell you something about Alexis, dude. She's psycho, and she likes fucking payday candy bars. This motherfucker eats more goddamn peanut candy bars than I've ever seen in my life. I bet she went to the vending machine 771 times. And
there wasn't a vending left. That's the only reason I quit eating them was because I ate I think 8 of them that was in the vending machine.
She ate every goddamn candy bar they had.
And it's weird because I usually don't like peanuts. I don't like if someone just gives me a jar of peanuts, I'll never touch them.
I just want to say, yeah, I'll go ahead and finish your sentence. I thought you were finished.
Usually the only way I eat peanuts is cooked, boiled peanuts, because they're a legume.
I like roasted. I don't like boiled. They're too soft.
That's still cooking them. It's a legume. Yeah. It's not a nut. Don't eat it raw. It's disgusting.
Well, you eat my nuts raw.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, I've met a lot of people over the last few years traveling, right? A lot of people know I've traveled a lot. One of the coolest experiences, one of the coolest people I've met has been this young lady here, Alexis. Because she's opened my eyes. Well, see, that's the one thing dude, even though that I'm a pretty smart guy and everything, being closed off to a lot of the things in the world, you don't know shit. You're ignorant to it. And so this traveling has really, opened my eyes to a lot of things. And I've known other transgender people, but Alexis is the first transgender person that I've actually known offline, be friends with, hung out with, do things with. And she is an amazing young lady, and she has an amazing future about her. She is so intelligent. She doubts herself too much. But she's gonna be very, very successful in this world, I do believe. And one of the coolest things that happened with Alexis and me is the last time we went to Philadelphia, me and Gage took her home. I met her mother, and her mother, when I hugged her mother, and her mother whispered in my ear, "Thank you." And I didn't really, yeah, you didn't know that. You didn't know that.
Aww.
She whispered in my ear, "Thank you." And it's because Alexis, kind of keeps herself apart from the world. Well, I've got her out a lot. Got her out and about. And I think and that's what her mom was thanking me. And her mama loved her. And so ain't no love like a good mama's love. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that was very cool that she whispered in my ear, "Thank you." And anyways, I've met Landon. Of course, I've met Landon. I've known more than I have anybody else online besides except Gage. Maybe Gage. I've hung out with Gage a lot. Landon is an amazing person. Landon has actually helped me mark some of my bucket list items out. One of my big things when I was a kid, I watched the movie Escape from Alcatraz, right? And I said I want to go there. Now I know it's a tourist trap now and everything, but hell, I'm a tourist. I always wanted to go there. Well, I got to go there last year. And that was the coolest fucking experience ever. I actually got to meet a person that was actually a convict. That actually he did time in Alcatraz. So it was awesome experience. And if you ever out in that area and you've not went to Alcatraz, you need to do it because and also take a moment to kind of get away from the crowd by yourself and kind of let it sink in. You can actually the history of that place is really cool.
Yeah, but you need to plan ahead. You don't go there for the afternoon because I think Pimpmunk, when we went there, they were saying that there weren't tickets available for another 6 weeks.
Yeah, you have to plan it because it's a very, very popular place to go. People love, and it's a tourist trap now. But it's there's a lot of cool things, and one of the coolest stories about that place that I remember is it's on the bay, it's on the ocean, and then when they talk about the prisoners would sit there on New Year's Eve. They'd have all these parties on the ocean. Well, sound travels on water, right? And they would sit there and they said the prison would go silent and they would just sit there and listen to the voices and the music and think about their freedom. So it's a really cool experience.
Yeah, in fact, tradition got started by the warden as far as punishment, right? He would command the guards to not make a sound.
Yeah.
So that people could listen to the party. They could hear parties actually cross the water in San Francisco. And the prisoner basically saw the whole celebrations going on.
And I also used to have this theory in my head that the people who escaped from Alcatraz made it. Well, after being on that ocean and feeling the weather, feeling the temperature, watching the waves, at that point in time in the world, I don't think they made it. It kind of ruined that whole fantasy for me that they made it. But I don't think they made it because now experienced trained swimmers have to use wetsuits, have to have people there to protect them and stuff.
One of the fun facts you learn going to Alcatraz is that the wardens, mandated that the prisoners have very hot showers, right? They did not want them to get used to the cold, and when it's raining and wet, they keep the prisoners inside.
Yeah.
Out of those, so that water, they had no ability to try and accommodate there. So
yeah, that's I'm glad you told it because that is true. That they told her yes because they didn't want their bodies to get used to cold, and that way because they got in that water it's cold as fuck. But it was a beautiful. San Francisco is a beautiful place anyway. He also took me up there to the Twin Peaks. Isn't that what that was called?
Yeah, Twin Peaks.
Oh, it's such a beautiful view. You can see all the way. You can see San Francisco, Oakland. I mean, it's fucking awesome. And we actually met a bunch of these young black dudes. This is a cool story. They were there. They were all drinking champagne and stuff. And we walked by. I asked them, "What are y'all celebrating?" And they said, "Our buddy here is getting married." And the young black guy, he's like, "Yeah, me and the Landon are two older guys." He said, "You got any advice for me?" And I said, "Yeah, don't do it." and they laughed so hard, dude. They thought that was the funniest thing. And it was pretty funny, and it was such a cool trip. I'm hoping I get to go to VidCon next month, and then if I do go, I think Landon said he's going to come out and visit me if he can.
Yeah, I'd like to. Yes.
Have dinner. We'll talk about that more at the end of the show here. I got a couple announcements about that, but we'll talk more about that stuff at the end. But yeah, if traveling has been so good for me, and I used to be a shut-in. When I was young, I was wild and I did a lot of crazy shit, and then after I settled down, I kind of became a shut-in. and would not leave the house very much. And it was just like, and then I started this YouTube thing, and I had to get out there. And a few years back, I was going to my first VidCon, and I was so scared, and I was like, no, I'm not going to do this. And Landon simply told me, he said, well, you want to be out there in the water? Yeah. He said, well, you can't get wet unless you put your foot in the water. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. So I put my foot in the water and I went, but I didn't realize how much my foot was going to go in, because when I entered that building, there was like 3,000 people there. I was like, oh, shit. But you know what I did? I turned Pimpmunk character on. I turned it on as soon as I walked in the door, and I owned that fucking place, man. I owned it. And so it was a cool experience. And from that moment on, I've done a lot of traveling, a lot more traveling to come. Going to Australia next year. Me and Landon's gonna fuck a koala.
I'm planning on going on the Australia trip.
Yeah, I'm also gonna go visit UK, and I'm gonna fuck a tranny.
Nice.
She's gonna put on a koala suit, and a tranny koala. So yeah, I don't know why I got talking about the traveling, but it's cool shit. Alexis got me thinking about it, because Alexis is awesome.
I agree. Alexis is great. Yeah. I wish I was Alexis.
I see Nunziata's in the room. Hello, Nerdy. Nunziata's another person I've met a couple times. She's really good. She can be annoying. Actually.
Did you know she lives in New York?
Nerdy does one thing to get someone there. She likes to correct everything I said. And eventually I looked at her and said, shut the fuck up. But she's so cool. She's so cool. I love her to death. Now, I haven't had the chance to meet these other three fuckers here. Demon face, lesbian breath, and dick lady. But I hope to meet them.
Landon's dick lady. Don't you get that mixed up.
I hope to get to meet them. But what I was trying to transition to, I was starting about traveling. What, like something on your book, because we all have a bucket list, right? Even you young people have a bucket list. What is like the one thing on your bucket list that you actually have got to accomplish that you're so proud of? Start with you, Irishman.
All right, let's see. I got to be a model for a little bit. That was neat. The fuck?
Oh, what happened? I froze up. Sorry.
Yeah, I thought my statement was so shocking that it just.
Yeah, it was. You have to be a model. What the fuck you mean by that?
A friend of mine in college, as I was wrapping up college, I never finished it, but she went all the way at the end, and she just needed somebody to get some lighting readings on and shit, and it just kind of developed from there, and I ended up one day being just said, hey, if you're cool with it, would you like to do a nude shot? I'm like, all right, fine. I just thought it was hilarious, the sheer state of me, and I was doing a nude shot.
And that was on your bucket list?
I just being really, really fat, so fat for so goddamn long that I had no respect in my body. So along and doing this, and I was like, fuck it, all right. And afterwards, I felt so good about myself.
So, you like you should be
similar experience. I got drawn naked once, and that was the day I started liking my body.
Okay, that's cool though. Hey, that's cool that you got the model. That's pretty neat. Landon, I know Landon's done a million things, but Landon's done so many things in his life. He makes us all look like fucking peons. But what's the thing on your bucket list that you got to do and you weren't disappointed with?
I mean, I think becoming bipolar, and that meaning going to the North Pole and the South Pole. Suck that, flat earthers.
No, he means sucking a panda polar bear's dick. What he means.
But there are new there are more items on my bucket list to experience. I would like to.
Give me one that you like to do.
I mean, one of the things I would like to go and view is the lava lake in Mount Erebus. Mount Erebus is a volcano, active volcano in Antarctica. Be one of the things I'd like to see, and I would like to get up higher, off the Earth. It'd be nice to be sort of low Earth orbit would be one of the fun things to do.
You visited every continent, right?
Yes.
That's what I thought. We can't all say that. He's been to every fucking continent.
Multiple times. I mean, I'm actually a frequent South Pole visitor. But that is an amazing thing because you know there's a significant emotional impact in arriving at the poles. Right, it takes a lot of work.
That's what the girls say when they arrive at my pole.
But you know, I've been in a high altitude, special airplane at very very high altitudes. But it would be nice to be able to be in at least near Earth orbit, outer space. I'd like to be able to look up and see the polar stars, and then look down and see the southern stars. The same time, because on Earth basically you've got this big thing in the middle, right? This ball that keeps you from seeing the other side of the universe. So
ball. That's good. We're going to talk more about that. But Tide what's something on you're very young. You're younger than the rest of us, I think. I don't know how old. Wait a minute. How old are you?
I'm 21.
Yeah, I know how old you are. I'm Energy. How old are you?
30.
Sorry.
You're 30. And now Alexis is the youngest here. Alexis is what, 20, 21?
20.
20, so she's the youngest. And Oculus is 57. How old are you, Oculus?
I'm 25. 25.
Okay, so you're all fairly young. Me and Landon's the old fuckers here. I'm 40. Landon's 112. Now Landon's what? You're 54?
57. 57.5.
You fucking old ass bastard, you. Damn, dude. He don't get an erection, he gets a shake.
And proud
of it.
The
earthquake comes.
Yeah, he's just happy when an earthquake comes because his dick actually moves.
Well said.
Anyways, so I'm sorry, Ty, but what was your bucket item?
Well, like I've been able to travel to Prince Edward Island and New Brunswick, which is pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
And I got to ride in a helicopter when I was in New Brunswick.
That's something Landon got planned for me to do, but it's going to be over a volcano with the doors open.
That's fun.
Oh,
actually,
sorry.
The doors won't be open. It won't have doors.
What the fuck?
No, I was gonna say the helicopter ride was not in New. Sorry, it was actually when I went to the Grand Canyon.
Oh, Grand Canyon! I've always wanted to go to the Grand Canyon. Never get to go yet.
It is. It's so gorgeous there.
Yeah. Did I get everybody? Alexis, your bucket item.
I got to fly a plane once. Not fly in a plane. I've yet to be in a plane that I wasn't the one flying.
Oh, so it was flew a plane? Okay.
Yes, it was in Boy Scouts, and we were shooting off model rockets at this airport, and they didn't tell us that this was happening, but they were going to take us all. They took all of us up on this plane. It was a 2-seater, and once you got in the air, they had a control stick in the back, and he activated the power on that and let me control it around for like a good 10 minutes. Just fly the plane around. Of course, he can override the controls.
Yeah,
if I got a little but
well, that is cool. That's very cool.
I was in 3rd grade piloting a plane. Like that was the coolest thing.
And
I won the rocket competition.
Now that's awesome. Now my next item. This is gonna be simple to a lot of people, but I hope I get to do it this year in November. This is actually the biggest item for me because I am a football fanatic. Most people know. I'm also a Green Bay Packers junkie. I am green and gold till I'm dead and cold. I love the Packers, worship the Packers. I hope to go in November, the month of my birthday, to Lambeau Field, the famous frozen tundra. A lot of people don't know what the fuck that means, but it's a famous fucking field. Famous, the frozen tundra. It's legendary. I want to go in the middle of November on a good seat, and I just want to enjoy watching the Packers play. That's my next item that I want to do.
Do it, yo.
Well, you know, I'm going to try to do it this year. I was going to do it last year, but finance didn't work out. So I'm going to try to do it this year. But that's the next big thing I would love to do. Oculus, did I get your bucket list?
No, you didn't.
Okay, give me your bucket list, bitch.
Well, I've always wanted to travel, but like I haven't really gone to many places. Like I've been to France and the Czech Republic. Most recently, I went to Glastonbury, which is like the holy land of weed here.
Oh, really?
Nice.
Yeah. So that was fun. I guess the next thing I'm gonna try and get to is America.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, you know, America has a lot of beautiful stuff to see. You know, a lot of people want to bitch about me traveling by bus, but I've seen all of America by bus, and it's stuff you can't see in a plane. It's one of my favorite places to go through is New Mexico. New Mexico is so fucking beautiful. I love New Mexico. Oklahoma, Montana mountains. Oh my God, they're amazing. But yeah, there's some beautiful stuff. There's a lot of places I want to go to travel. Now next year, looks like I'm gonna get to go to Australia. I'm gonna go to Canada maybe this year or the beginning of next year. But there is one place that I haven't talked a lot about that I've always wanted to visit, but I've always wanted to go to Italy.
Nice.
You know, yeah, and one of the main reasons is the food. I want to go eat real Italian food in Italy because they got some badass food, bro.
They do.
That's a fat man's fantasy. But there's a lot of things that I want to do, and I know I will get to. But my biggest item on my list is to buy my mama a house. That's the number one item on the list. If I accomplish that, I don't give a fuck if I accomplish the others. To be honest with you, to get to hand her the keys and the title, and say, "Mom, this is yours," and then when you die, I'll take it. But no, I just wanted to. That's my biggest item. And in that area, houses are cheap. You know, you can get a nice house here in Mississippi for $60 grand, 60 or 70 grand. That's pretty cheap.
Where in Canada were you thinking of traveling to?
I see. That's the thing. I don't know. I got to figure out because I have a lot of Canadian fans, and I'm trying to figure out where they're most close to. You know, like where I can get a batch of people at once, meet a group of people. I know a lot of them are set. You know, they're all over. They're spread out, but I want to get to a place to where, you know, I can get a lot of them are close. They can come and visit. So I don't know. I thought about Toronto. I don't even know Canada that well.
Yeah.
What's big city's closest to Seattle, Landon? Or Canada City?
Well, sorry, I was sorry.
You're muted now.
The big city that's in that area would be Vancouver.
I thought, yeah, that's what I thought. Vancouver.
And you know, it's a nice. Again, that's a really nice city. There's lots of great stuff to see.
Yeah.
There, the downtown the Gaslight District, Stanley Park, lots of good stuff.
Yeah, so maybe where are you closer to? Type
I'm in Ottawa.
Ottawa.
In Ontario.
Ontario. Okay.
So that's like a 6-hour flight from Vancouver.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to. And maybe I can go to like Vancouver and go. That'll take money, so I have to figure that out. But yeah, that'd be cool though. I definitely would like to go to Canada. There's a lot of things I want to do. But I gotta get that Patreon built up before I can do all that shit. It damn near died yesterday. But I got it built up, but I gotta, thank Landon pledged more on Patreon. Thank you, sir. It put me back up a little bit. And we're 30 minutes out, so I can start talking about this now. And I want you guys to chime in too if you got any ideas or whatever. But a couple big plans coming up is that I want to go to VidCon, but I've also got hit hard by YouTube and lost some Patreons because if they don't know you're making videos, why would they support you, right? And they don't know that I'm making videos because YouTube isn't showing them. And right now, my main goal is to build my Patreon up. But I do want to go to VidCon, so if I can get the extra money to go to VidCon next month, I will. But I need that money quick because the tickets go up, bus ticket stuff go up every week, every Monday. So I'm trying to get that money up quick. And so if anybody tips and they tip for that reason, make sure you tell me that that's only for the VidCon reason. Because if I see money and I got to buy my mom and them help pay bills or something, I will. I'll be honest with you. So, I mean, I like to be honest with people and tell them. But, yeah, VidCon's a thing, and I really, really want to go there. And I don't know if the person's in there now, but the other day somebody in the chat room said, hey, if you want to stay with me, I can take you to VidCon anyway. So I may do that, but I think I'm going to be able to stay with Ben and them. I just have to wait and see. But if I get to go to VidCon, dude, you're talking about streams. You're going to have some awesome fucking streams. Because I'm going to get every big YouTuber I know and meet to see if they can come on my streams. And so that'd be pretty cool. Yeah, and it completely went silent.
You know what you could do to try to...
We're just... Go ahead.
Well, what you could do to try to drum up some money is find a non-YouTube way to do pay for pimps again.
Yeah, I've thought about doing some pay for pimp. If you don't know what pay per pimp, by the way, not pay for pimp.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Like pay-per-view, but pay per pimp.
Yeah,
I used to do these private shows called pay per pimp. You give a certain amount, you get to watch the private show. And I'm going to tell you right now, anybody who ever took part of my private shows can tell you, I had the best private shows.
Some shit went on.
Dude, we had some crazy shit. I mean, I'll tell you, like, I had people eating cum on toast.
I stuck a cucumber in my ass.
She stuck a cucumber in her ass.
And I mean, like, full view of the camera.
Landon actually killed a man.
but he was proud. So fine.
I did?
Yeah, but we brought him back to life. It was Jeebus.
Using science.
But yeah, so yeah, I did. But if you become a Patreon bunny about this stuff, you automatically get Discord stuff, and we have. I'm trying to do more Discord stuff myself. There is a way to do a show on Discord. I have to figure it out.
Oh,
so yeah, we lost somebody. He'll be back. If I do start now, I can do the Paper Pimp shows on Discord. So we'll figure that out. Bunny said she jiggled her boobs. She did. But yeah, so I am going to start trying to do more of that stuff. And the VidCon thing is important. And the reason I think it's, let me explain why it's important. Because it's not about me going to go to parties. I will be going to parties. But it's the people that's at the parties that's what's important. Because networking is the biggest thing for a YouTuber. Networking. It's all about network, getting people. Because if let's say I meet a bigger YouTuber and they say, "Oh, I like this guy," I'll give him a shout out, or we'll do some work together. I'll come on his show, and that's the thing I'm going to be doing. I told Landon this last night. VidCon will be all about morning wood for me. I'm putting all my eggs in the morning wood basket.
See, folks, VidCon is a business trip for
Pimpmunk.
He's going to be working hard, and he's going to also be producing content and bringing you along on this ride.
Absolutely. And over the weekend, I'm going to try to get some morning wood merch and some Pimpmunk merch out by next week. I'm going to try to have some merchandise. It may be kind of simple stuff at first, but people are hollering for merch, and we'll be trying to do that.
Right, that Pimpette shirt.
Yeah, but I'm glad Landon said that VidCon is a business trip, and that's what VidCon is for most YouTubers. They go, they party. It's business. That's this world that we live in. So I am definitely wanting to go because I get the network. Sorry, get the network, and I will definitely be doing shows from there. I will stream my ass off. from VidCon. And like I said, I'll most likely have some bigger YouTubers on the streams with me because I'll be meeting them and talking to them. And I know a lot of YouTubers. It may not reflect in my subscriber numbers, but like Ben says anymore, subscriber numbers does not mean shit these days. So the numbers of your subscriptions don't mean anything. It's about viewers. And like, even though I don't have a large audience, but like right now we got 31 people. That's pretty good for a startup channel. It's decent. People are following me over. People know me. So I will get people on the channel streams is what I'm trying to say. But anyways, we're gonna be. I'm gonna try to make that happen. I do need I put a goal limit to the 15th. I'm trying to make it before the 15th. If I don't make the money for VidCon before the 15th, I'm just gonna decide not to go. That's that simple, and that is pushing it. 15th is way too far, I think, but I'm pushing it. I'm giving it to the 15th. If I don't make it by then, I'm just not gonna go, and I'm not gonna be crushed or anything if I don't go. I just think I need to go. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Other things, me and Landon had a long conversation. Other things I will try to do is starting next weekend, I'm going to try to start a Twitch show every weekend. I don't know what day yet. Maybe on Sunday. I'm going to start a Twitch show. Now, I have to prepare myself for that because Twitch is more strict than YouTube is. So I have to clean up my act a little bit for Twitch, and that's going to be hard for me because I like to talk about pussy.
Don't show no feet either.
Yeah. And I like to talk about...
Don't show your dick.
Don't show the dick. You can't even show man nips on there, man. Or feet.
Yeah, don't show your toes. Don't wiggle them in front of the camera like you always do.
Don't be a toho. But yeah, anyways, so I got a lot of stuff planned. Even though I got hit hard by YouTube, it was a dumb reason. The Kratom thing is dumb. And I want to publicly thank Trusted Flagger for trying to get my channel back. He did a lot of hard work, and they just refused to do it. I appreciate his work that he put into trying to get me back on. That was very kind of him. He didn't have to do that. So I appreciate it. And but it didn't work, and I'm not going to be back on my main channel. I'll do videos, but I can't stream.
I mean, I think also the thing that Trusted Flagger did was to give you an explanation.
That's right? Yes.
And that's one of the things I think that, in my complaint to YouTube that I condemn them for is their inability to give an explanation. Some of that is probably because they're chicken.
Yeah. And
if they sit there and say, you said this naughty word on this video, then people could have an argument, right? As opposed to they simply say, you violated this vague guidelines that we go and change whenever we want to. And there's no appeal. Goodbye. Right?
Yeah.
That is unacceptable behavior towards other businesses.
Absolutely.
And the other, so Trusted Flagger was able to get an explanation which is rare out of YouTube, and one of the reasons why I think that's rare is that you find sometimes that YouTube is behaving in an indefensible way. YouTube employees should be embarrassed by the way that their company is being operated. They should be embarrassed by the behavior that YouTube is there. And I think anyway. Yeah. End of rant.
What's that chick's name? The CEO, whatever her name is.
Susan Wojcicki.
She needs to be fired.
Yeah.
Plain and simple, she needs to be fired.
Susan Wojcicki,
well, she needs to be
fired.
Her name needs to be Goodbye Susan.
Call her Susan.
She's the definition of a lazy Susan.
She needs to be Goodbye Susan. I froze up again. Sorry, guys.
Good one there. Alexis.
Yeah, so I agree, Lamorte. Trusted Flagger shouldn't have to be the one that gave me an explanation, but at least he got an explanation for me. It was the dumbest reason.
They have to go through a party.
You watch her?
Party just to figure out what you did wrong. Like, that's the most fucked up part of it.
Yeah, it's very fucked up.
How are you supposed to stop it after the 3 months if you're not told what not to do?
And the simple solution, yeah, exactly. And the simple solution would have been if they'd have just emailed me before and said, that we don't like that, we don't want that link on it, I would have simply took the link off. Simple solution. But no, just ban the motherfucker for 3 months, not give them a reason why. Like you said, how you know what to do, what not to do anymore.
And it's just arbitrary capricious. They can sit there and say, oh, Pimpmunk has cards in the background. That means he's supporting gambling. We have just decided that gambling is bad, and therefore you're banned. I mean, that's the kind of silly stuff that they do. And the problem is, Alexis, is that it comes back 3 months later and they could change the rules again.
And it's kind of like book burning. Where do you stop, right? It's I'm going to use the slippery slope thing. I know it's a fallacy, but sometimes the slippery slope is an actual thing. Where do they stop? Okay, they consider kratom dangerous. Well, I'm obese, right? Obesity's dangerous. Are they going to fucking ban me for being a fat guy? I mean, seriously, where do you stop with it? It's like once you start burning books, what else are you gonna burn, right? It's very, dude. This is not good. This is not. They're stopping people for. This is a freedom of speech thing, man. And
in your background is cultural appropriation, and that is dangerous.
Yeah. It's just it's that where do they stop with the danger thing and it's not dangerous, by the way. Kratom is not fucking dangerous.
Yeah, it's one of the least worryable drugs.
I can only give you anecdotal stuff about kratom, but that's all I got. Anybody who knows me, Landon, Alexis, who really personally know me, can tell you ever since I've been on kratom, my health's gotten better.
Fuck yeah.
Galen is one of the most drug-free people I know, and he publicly said many times he is so glad that I found kratom. Because when I'm in pain, like the other day, I didn't have no kratom, I didn't have none of my leg medicines and stuff. I was in serious pain, and when I'm in serious pain, I don't even know how to act, dude. Things get to me, I can't handle things. So it's been a really good miracle drug for me. I can only speak anecdotal, but it is good. I don't give a fuck what they say. And for them just to deem it dangerous is retarded.
Yeah, if we're still on the topic of YouTube being just really shitty, I remember this like Casey Neistat video where the video was basically about him raising money for like a charity that help prevent suicide, and he said that all the money that would like normally be from ad revenue to go to him, like all that money would actually go to the charity that his video was supporting, and YouTube demonetized that video simply because he was talking about suicide.
Did I say anecdotal wrong or something? Because now they're quoting it. I must have said it wrong.
You know what?
I thought it was on purpose.
Okay, I thought
it was humorous.
Nah, well, it wasn't being humorous. I'm just being stupid, I guess.
Anecdotal.
Whatever. It doesn't matter. You know what the fuck I meant? Suck on my dickiness. Suck on my dickacodal. Coca-Cola. I'm Pimpmunk. I make up words all the fucking time. Plodifius. I am feeling plodifius today. Is plodifius not a word, is it? I hope not. Anecdotal. Okay, I said dotical. Big fucking goddamn deal. Fuck all y'all niggas. Not just one of y'all.
Orgy.
So I'm gonna get to your tips in a minute, Vash. He said he sent a tip. Thank you. I'll read the here in a minute. I'll be reading the tips and stuff. So if you guys want to start tipping, 15 minutes out. So if you want to start tipping now, go ahead, and I will read your messages with your tips. I appreciate that very much. If you tip, like I said, I will try to any money that I get, I will try to kind of split it up. Like some goes to the house, some goes to VidCon. If somebody asked earlier, I think, or some, I'll just say if they didn't, the amount I'm trying to get for VidCon, and this is actually a low, it seems a lot, but it's actually a low ball number, $900. it's it's because I'm adding lodging, travel, and food, so that's the goal. But I may not get it, so if I don't, I don't. Anyways, if you do, and also if you have questions, in about 5 minutes we'll start taking questions and the tips, and I'll read your tips and I'll read your questions. The one thing, Irish dude left. I enjoyed him. He's pretty good. I'm gonna get him back on the show. I don't know why he left. But one thing I wanted to ask you guys before we do get into the questions and stuff. Hold on a second. I gotta take a swallow. I gotta swallow. Just like Oculus, I swallow. And now this is gonna be, and I don't want you to pat me on the back, or this is not. I want people to kiss my ass. But the thing I want to ask you guys, because this is Fan Friday, what most drew you into my content? And I want to start with you, Oculus. What, like, when you seen me? I know Alexis introduced you to me and all that. That's fine. But like, what did what about me made you stay a fan?
Because you're like a real person as opposed to like.
Oh fuck you! Suck mine.
Yeah, well, I'm keeping it.
So I'm a real person. Okay, good. And the reason I ask this, I have a reason for asking this question, because it's Fan Friday, and I'm trying to get the mind of the fan, like what I can work on more, like what I can give you more, what you guys like, and people in the chat room can answer the question too if you want to. What about my content drew you in? Landon, you've been one of my longest. You've been a fan for a while, a friend fan as I like to call you, but yeah.
Well, I think it's because your humor is actually quite intelligent.
I'm a genius.
No, I mean, it is. I mean, improv requires a lot going on upstairs. You got to be quick in order for it to work. And you're very fast on your feet.
Yeah, and in bed too, but that's not a good thing. But thank you, I appreciate it. And I'm not doing this. I'm not searching. And I want people to know I'm not searching for compliments. This is actually like a fucking study. I'm studying my fans right here. Alexis, besides my big giant penis, what drew you in? The real.
You were one of the first people. You were one of the first people that was able to both put on a show and interact with the audience in a way that it just felt like the audience was part of the show, and I liked that.
Oh, that's good. I like that answer. I like that. Type on. I know you thought I was a woman.
Well, I actually first started watching you when you were a guest on like when you be a guest on DP. And what got me to actually start watching your channels is the fact that you seem like a very genuine person, and you are very dedicated to what you do.
So what I'm getting is real. I'm getting the real vibe. Okay, I like that.
Yeah, yeah. And also, like your sense of humor.
Yeah, well, that's that's
it's like what.
Go ahead, man.
It's like what Landon said. You are like quick-witted. Like even though you're at jokes, like you usually do make just like dirty jokes. The fact that you're able to come up with those right on the spot, and they're usually very funny. Like that does take a lot of intelligence.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. And like I said, and somebody said he kind of wanted more of a critique than circle jerk. That's exactly what I'm trying to do. Is I like to get to know what people like, that where I can give more, because I'm really about to put a lot of effort into the Morning Wood, and the Morning Wood is the thing that I'm more focused on than anything right now. I really love this show. I think it's a great show. I like how it's laid back. I love these Friday shows, these Fan Friday shows, because it's also how a way I can discover if there's people in the audience that are good on the camera, and I can bring you on as more guests. I've done that before. There's been a couple of people that I've got pulled in, and then they had a little success. But anyways.
But Pimpmunk, if I could add in here, I actually first got clued into your humor, your existence through Jacqueline and Glenn.
Yep.
And I think one of the things that I like is that your connections with other YouTubers and your interaction with them is something that I think is quite important. But that's how I discovered you.
It is very important to me. That is the most important thing for a YouTuber, is to know other YouTubers.
That's why VidCon's important.
It is so. Do I, huh?
And that's why VidCon is important.
That is exactly why VidCon is important. Yeah, exactly. Important. See, I can say it correctly. Important. But I like to say important. Because I'm crunchy as fuck. Anyways, it's very important. I can speak smart. Voluptuous. You relate to my perversion, Tyrone said. Well, there you go. And the thing about it is, the perversion thing is straight up gimmick, right? Because anybody who's ever met me in real life can tell you I'm kind of prudish when it comes to sex thing. I'm not, because I don't want to really offend them, because of course I'm a little different. Now, what you see is what you get in real life, but I'm not going to yell at you like I would on the internet. You know, this is show. This is a gimmick. I'm not going to just jump up in your face, fuck you, you motherfucker. Well, I have done that a few times, but not most of the time. But yeah, so it's I'm not as perverted as you may think I am, is the point. But I am trying to work on this shit. I'm trying to get it better. As you said, Landon, the connections are so important. And another thing that I like about myself, I won't say this, is like I do know some bigger YouTubers, and if you've ever seen me interact with them, you can see I don't treat that bigger YouTuber no different than I treat Oculus. I'll talk to them the same fucking way. I'll cuss them out. I'll make jokes about them, something, because this is just the way it's supposed to be. You're not supposed to treat them like they're gods. Even though you should treat me like I'm a god. The first time I went to YouTube, I was walking around, and this one dude I was walking around with, he would all fanboy out every time he met a YouTuber, and I wouldn't. And then when we got off to ourselves, he's like, wow. Why aren't you like being, you know, I said, look, dude, if you want to be a part of the crowd, you have to act like you're a part of the crowd. And to me, that's key. You can't, you know, because they don't, I mean, it's weird. It's just a weird thing, but it's cool. And I'm really enjoying it. And I love being a YouTuber. And I thank you, people. You're the reason I keep doing this, because without your support, I couldn't do this. I just cannot do this. And I appreciate you very much. Now it's time for Q&A. If you have questions for me, Landon, or anybody else on the panel, please feel free to ask. And it's also time to count those tippies. And let me go over here. I know one person said a tip, so I'm going to go over here right quick and read this. From Vash, he gave $40. Thank you, Vash. Hey, it's Vash here. It is a little money your way. I will give more next week or earlier if I have enough after I cash my check. Well, thank you, Vash, very much for that tip.
Thank you, Vash, as well. And I think you're talking about terms of things I appreciate. Your fan base, Pimpmunk, is loyal. You've got an amazing fan base. So Thank you, fans out there, for.
Oh, absolutely, dude. I mean, my fan base is as hardcore as you can get. And like I've said this a many times, you can be a successful YouTuber without having hundreds and thousands or millions of fans. It's just if you've got a good following. You know, if you've got 9, 10, 15,000 people who are loyal, then you're pretty successful.
Because I understand folks that are listening, watching, or watching this thing later. If it wasn't for you, this channel wouldn't exist.
Absolutely.
You're the sole reason why he's able to do what he's able to do. So thank you.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, absolutely. And thank you, Oculus, for that tip. Oh yeah, turn me on, baby. You didn't send a message. She said $4.20. That's her favorite number.
Mm-hmm.
She likes smoking weed.
Hey, you can't say that on YouTube.
No, you can't. You got we got a nickname for Kratom. We call Kratom Didgeridoo now, right? Brian and Landon. I mean, Red Eye started calling it Didgeridoo. So I actually took some Didgeridoo earlier. When y'all were talking, I don't even know if y'all noticed, but I actually took a spoonful of didgeridoo, and so it was pretty good stuff. And we're gonna start calling weed. We're gonna call it biscuits.
I like biscuits.
Yeah,
nice, fluffy, chewy biscuits, right, Oculus?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, Pimpmunk Broadcasting System. Yeah, that's what is it, like Galen? I fucking forgot. When I do these serious videos sometimes. Oh, that's another thing. I am gonna start back doing the videos again. I know I kind of laid off for a while because I have focused on live streaming because that's where YouTube's at right now, streaming. Like I said earlier, my main focus is the Morning Wood. I'm trying to make this show a successful show. I think it's got. I think it's good. I think we have good shows. Now we're like like the Kumite right now is going on. It's live right now. It's totally completely different from what you get from the Kumite, and that's the reason. Not dissing those guys. I'm proud of their success. Like right now, they got 1.6 thousand people watching. I can see it on the side here. Awesome. I've got 32. But I'm hoping to get there. I'm hoping to get there, and I'm trying to bring. I won't always have big YouTubers on, but I'm trying to get more YouTubers on. Like next week, I've got GDR, Ben, and Vadim, and I'm working on some black dude, some black guy. I'm trying to get him on. That would be awesome to get him on. And I guess I can announce it now. As far as I know, next week, next Friday, I will be on the DP, and so will Boogie 298. I'll be hosting the Boogie Show, and that's a lot of exposure for all of us. That's all it is. Boogie's got millions of subscribers. I think we got 3 or 4 million, so that's pretty good. And I'm gonna be a host, so yeah, that's pretty awesome. And I've actually met Boogie. He's the nicest man I've ever met. So, Pimpmunk, have you thought about putting Morning Wood on SoundCloud? I usually listen to everything on SoundCloud while I'm at work. The thought has crossed my mind. I have thought about it. Don't you have to buy an account to do that though? Pay for an account? I don't know. We may start doing that.
Well, I think one of the things, Pimpmunk, that you might want to consider is that YouTube is not reliable.
No.
They have a poor business model. Mm-hmm. They have poor customer service, and you can't count on it. Unfortunately, it's a major game in town. So if you had something like, let's say, SoundCloud that you were using, you could use YouTube's resources to say, I'm on SoundCloud, check out blah, 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 blah. We're having this. Yeah. So these announcements about what's coming up, you could do that and use YouTube's resources to advertise someone else's thing. Now, maybe they'll end up
absolutely
just like that too. But I would encourage you to find a more stable platform that your fans can enjoy your content.
Definitely need to know more platforms. I definitely need to know more. I agree, 100%. That's the reason I am thinking about having a Pimpmunk website. That way I can put anything I want on that motherfucking thing, and we can have it going constantly if we wanted to. Thinking about doing it, but yes, SoundCloud sounds good. I will have to look into that. I don't know how much it costs. I know you have to pay for it to get it right. So I'm gonna try. I'll try that out. Yeah, that'd be nice. Somebody mentioned iTunes before. I thought about doing iTunes. We'll see. I have to definitely look into it. And let me ask the crowd a question real quick, the audience. Would you guys be interested in buying would you rather see a Morning Wood shirt or a Pimpmunk shirt? That's the question. Morning Wood or Pimpmunk? Because the Morning Wood design would probably be way different. A Pimpmunk would have my name, maybe one like a or something like that.
I'll go for Pimpmunk, yeah.
And I'm going to come out with Pimpmunk underwear, and Landon's going to have my face on his dick.
You should make Pimpmunk butt plugs.
There's already called Pimpmunk butt plugs. It's called my penis.
Well, something you sell.
I'm sorry.
Something was like, oh, fuck you, Landon. So, we need to see more tips, though. Don't stop with just Oculus and Vash.
We appreciate those tips, but there's always room for more.
Yeah, absolutely. Because like I said, I'm trying to get to Victor, and I'm trying to, help the house. So every bit of money, I'm gonna try to put a little here and a little there. Hopefully, we can get up enough to go to Victor because I really want to go. I really want to go. And I am going to have, if I go to the actual event, I am going to have a conversation with YouTube people. I'm going to go up to YouTube people because YouTube's always there, and I'm going to talk to them. I'm going to ask them, what the fuck are y'all doing? A cigguras fire leather jacket, yeah. He can make a mold of his crack and sell the GDR and sponsor it. Yeah. Well, we'll talk about that Wednesday because GDR is coming on Wednesday. Wednesday. She will be on next Wednesday. That's going to be cool. I'm going to bring on some other people to talk. Monday, we got Vadim Newquist. Would you like to come on Monday, Landon?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, we get. So we'll have Landon. We'll have Vadim. I'm going to try to get Frank on, and that'll be our panel.
You're talking about this next Monday?
Yeah, this coming up Monday. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be in Seattle, but I'll be able to hook up.
Yeah. My favorite new one of my favorite new people. So every so often when I start doing these shows and bring people on, I find that one talent that I really like, and I really like Frank. I think Frank's got the chops to be somebody, be cool, and that's the reason I bring him on a lot because he's very good. I also like Admiral Murphy. That dude's got a great voice. So yeah. Also next week we may have Hellbent on also. I forgot about that. Hellbent maybe on the Wednesday show. I mean the Tuesday show with Ben. So there you go. But Monday we got Vadim, Landon, and I gotta ask Frank, and Frank will have, and that'll be our panel. That'd be a good panel. And I don't know what we're gonna talk about, but we'll talk about something. We'll talk about something. And you guys got any more questions in the chat room? I didn't see. Let me see. Please ask questions. We're going over a few minutes because I'm trying to get more tips. We're going, and also I started a little late anyway. So
I got a geology question for Landon.
Ask away.
How can it be helped?
So the Netherlands is a lot of it is below sea level. Is that right?
Yeah. They're altitude challenged, as some might say.
So what would they do if it rained, like seriously rained?
Well, and Netherlands actually are the masters of dikes, right? And I don't mean dikes as in someone here, but I'm talking about dikes as in keeping the water out. And one of the things that they do is have a very sophisticated pumping system to send water over the dike, right? Because it doesn't matter if you've got this impenetrable barrier where the ocean's on this side and lands on this side. If you start filling up with water here, it doesn't do you any good. So dikes have to also have an elaborate pumping system to send water over the edge and back over the side. So and these pump systems to be maintained because stuff gets clogged. They require a backup systems, and it requires a lot of stuff. So their systems of dikes and locks and water transfer system is the most sophisticated that I've seen on this planet. And it's something that they take national pride in.
Yeah. Somebody asked in the chat. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I forgot what I was going to say.
Somebody asked in the chat, what is my fantasy booking for the Morning Wood? Honestly, to get Joe Rogan on this show.
Fuck yeah.
To get Joe Rogan, yeah, that'd be pretty cool for me. I'm a huge fan of Joe's. I love Joe to death. So that would be one of the guys I would love to get on the show. And, as far as YouTuber wise, I would love to get Boogie on this show. Anybody who could help, Philly D, man, anybody. Hell, and another thing is, guys, I may bring YouTubers on that you may disagree with. I'm going to stop with this whole we got to be divided thing. I'll even bring YouTubers on that I disagree with. I'll do shows with people I don't personally like. We can still be professionals and have a good show. So it depends. But yeah, Joe Rogan would be the one I would love to get on the show. Definitely. I just realized I did not pay my phone bill. I don't have a phone.
Fun.
Anyways,
but as I say, some people you could bring on for only 30 minutes, and then.
Yeah. Yeah, I would. Yeah, let him lick a couple of legs and fuck a retarded person. JF. Fuck that dude, man. I used to be friends with him, but he's gone off his goddamn. He needs to be on some meds.
I take pride in never liking him.
He needs medicine.
Now, I just said you could bring someone on for 30 minutes. Why did you immediately jump to that?
Because you know goddamn well that's what you're talking about.
I triggered you.
So is JF
it just takes Landon.
Is Jeff what?
Is JF like the one YouTuber that you would not want to have on your show?
Oh no, there's
like under any circumstance.
No, there's other people on there that I would bring JF on before I would. No, I possibly would have JF on if we had to, if I wanted to have that discussion with him. But JF is not really suited for this show anyway. He's not.
JF on normal.
I guess there's a couple of people I just wouldn't bring on because they wouldn't add nothing to the show. If you can't add anything to this, if we can't communicate, as long as I can communicate with you, I'm cool. But there's some people that I just get mad, like Bionic Dance. I wouldn't piss on her bitch if she's on fire. I'm gonna tell you right now. Somebody asked me the other day, they came to me, would you like to be on my show? Bionic Dance is gonna be there. Well, that wasn't going to be an entice to bring me there on your show. That was keeping me away from your show. I don't want nothing to do with it. I don't like her. So I wouldn't bring her on because we couldn't communicate because I'd end up yelling at her. And not in a good way. Just yelling at her, cussing her out. So I would never bring her on. Would I bring Steve Shives on? Possibly, yeah, if I wanted to have that kind of discussion. I am planning on trying to get G-Man on sometime, but the thing I want to do, here's the thing I want to do with G-Man. We are not going to discuss religion at all. That's the one, because I want people to see that G-Man can actually have a conversation and be cool.
I mean, I've seen non-religious based conversations with that person, and people report he's actually quite sane and pleasant.
Yeah, absolutely. I've had discussions with G-Man about football and had an interesting conversation. It was fun and enjoyed it. But then when he starts talking about Jeebus, that little black dude goes off his fucking craziness.
Yeah, I like him until he says Jesus.
There's a lot of people I would love to have on the show. I really want to get Jenna Marbles on. That way, and I'll be honest with you, I want to get these kind of people because it would help my channel. It's not going to happen anytime soon, but eventually I hope I'll be able to get these kind of people on. If I got one of those, it's like one of the reasons I really want to host the Boogie show is because Boogie can, that's more exposure for me. People can, and maybe I'll tell a couple of jokes and a few thousand people like it, right? And they come and subscribe. So that's it's all about that networking. That's why I want to go to VidCon. We're back to VidCon again. Because it's all about getting to connections. Like Landon said earlier, it's all about the connections. The reason people know me at all is because Jacqueline Glenn, I made a connection with her. And she put me out on the internet, and then I went from like 1,200 subscribers to 7,000 overnight. Because she had, she's seen something in me and put me on there, and I'll always be grateful to Jacqueline for that. Always. She was the first person to give me my first break. She gave me my first real break here on YouTube, and I'll always be grateful for her. I want to get her on the show too. I've even asked, but she never responded. So, but yeah, I would love to get Jacqueline on the show. A lot of people want to get on the show. It's like I want to ask GDR who that dude was on her show the other night when I was on her show. He's an actual doctor. I actually enjoyed talking to him, and I want to get him on the show because he's a pretty cool dude. It's all about who you know and how you know them. Exactly, Vash. And I look, and nothing is, I don't use people. I don't become their friend just for that. I've had people do that to me, even though I'm not a major YouTuber, but I've had people use me to get noticed, and then when they meet a bigger YouTuber, they leave me to the fucking wasteland. That's happened. I would never do that to anybody. I'm always grateful to the people who help me. Always.
There we go.
You know, I give TJ a lot of credit because TJ's helped me a lot. Ben has helped me tremendously. You know, the DP thing, me doing the DP shows a lot has actually helped me. But Jacqueline gave me my first break, and she's very cool for that.
Oh, what happened? What happened?
I don't know. You keep on flipping off over there. I think it's because you're Canadian.
Something happened. Yeah.
Alexis broke you.
It's fine.
She does that sometimes.
I've done it. Yeah.
Many more tips, Landon.
So yes, please tip. And the other thing is that consider becoming a Patreon, even for $1 a month.
Yeah.
You get access to Discord, and in Discord, there are things that happen in Discord that stay in Discord.
Yeah, but the $1 or more a month you get this one. I really like the Amores, by the way. But yeah,
even a Canadian dollar, you can do that.
Yeah,
that's
all right.
accepted.
Well, my camera's being weird, so I'm just gonna keep it off.
That's fine. We're about to
All right.
end here shortly anyway. I'm going to go ahead and put in another. We're going to go 12:30 this time, so that'd be 2.5 hours we stayed on. So I'm just going to give it an extra like 10 minutes now, I guess. Well, 9 minutes actually. No, I'm wrong. Damn, I can't count at all. Fuck it. We got like almost 20 minutes. Please help support this channel. Yes, do what Bunny says. It's Raisin. Rose Black put Raisin with a question mark. Is Raisin in the chat room? I didn't see her. Anyway, she is. What about Evan? Somebody asked, what about Evan? I have asked Evan to be on the show. Evan's got scheduling issues to be on the morning show. But he's going to try eventually. So, yeah, we have talked about it. I said when you said Joe is God, I hope y'all do know I'm not talking about Joe from DP. I'm talking about Joe Rogan. Joe from DP is a crazy fun bitch. I mean, I like him though. He's cool people. He's crazy as fuck. Dude's insane. Try to show me his penis.
Hey, I successfully showed you mine.
I've showed you mine too.
Yeah. Mundane Man, I know you guys get on. Yeah, well, I've had Mundane was on my very first show, Morning Wood show. So yeah, I will try to get Mundane back. Matt's a good guy. I like Matt a lot. Matt's cool, very cool guy, very sweet guy.
So the Lord asked, would I ever debate JF? Actually, JF and I have had science discussions. I've been on his channel and we've had fairly sane science discussions. So, you know, it shows I don't follow the the latest controversies. I'm not up on what's happening there because it's just not my thing. But back in the day when JF would come on and it was part of the community, we had rational science discussions there. It was the 30-minute thing became a meme that came in one of the private shows.
It was actually a public show.
Oh, it was a public show?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right. I guess it was.
It was right here on my channel. Yeah, it became a thing. He didn't like that shit either.
But he doubled down on it, and eventually, I think he eventually embraced the item. Just like, for example, Red Eye accused me of being a cork sniffer, and now I've taken it on as a mantle of pride.
A cock sniffer?
Cork.
Oh, cork.
Cork, as in wine stopper bottle.
Uh-huh.
Did you know that the production of wine for a century would produce enough corks to reach from here to the sun?
I did not know that.
A lot of corks.
That's a lot of fucking corks. So anyway, I just looked it up. If somebody wants to buy my Greyhound ticket right now, it costs $348. So somebody give me $348 right now. That's the price of the Greyhound ticket. That's not including lodging and food. That's just the bus ticket. That's probably not going to happen. But anyways, I looked that up to make sure what I needed for that. Cool. Joe from DP is hit or miss. I like Joe from DP. He's a nice guy. I think the doctor's guy's name is Ray. Oh, yes. Is his name Raisin? I don't think so. Is that counting synthetic corks, Landon?
Well, actually, about 80% of wine bottles are stocked with real cork, and the last year's production was around 3 billion bottles of wine. So there's a lot of wine drunk there, and if you consider the average cork is around 4.5 centimeters in length, 3 billion times 4.5 centimeters times 100 years. Will roughly, get you pretty close to the sun. Enough at least to toast the corks quite close to the sun. Let's put it that way. Unless I made an error in my calculations, in which case you can correct me, and I'll stand corrected.
He'll stand corrected. He won't sit corrected. He'll stand corrected.
I should do that. I should redo that calculation just to make sure I'm doing it right.
Yeah, you should really calculate it.
So, but meanwhile, you can tip that amazing fact. And I would also, Rick, I would really recommend for even just $1 a month, become a patron, because you get access to cool stuff. You get access to the Discord server. Mm-hmm. And for example, there's a science channel there in the Discord thing where you can see amazing stuff. We were talking about Kilauea volcano. I posted some, number of updates and amazing pictures of the eruption going on there. Awesome. If you are a patron, then you can get access to the Discord server and see the science channel stuff. There's also something called Shitpost Central. Yeah. And let's just say the name speaks for itself, but you can only get that if you become a Patreon.
That's where you look at me shitting 24/7.
That's Oculus's favorite activity. Little known fact, she's a stat fetishist.
Nuh-uh.
Oh. That's nasty.
So I posted the link there, and it's very easy. They'll take it out of a credit card on a monthly basis. When you sign up, you say, I just want to, whatever you want, the or more is also appreciated. But you can start at $1. And then Red Eye gives you access to the Discord server, and it's all uphill from there. So, or downhill, depending on whether you like uphill or downhill.
Absolutely. What do you see? Anyways, also the music channel, which Oculus and I have been active on. There you go, music stuff, yeah. You got all kinds of cool shit. You also got we got a group on there that's just dedicated to Landon's penis.
That's only for Nitro members. Sir.
Oh, what the fuck is Nitro? I've heard about this. It's the
premium Discord.
Oh, so
is that for? I thought that was for people that use nitrous.
No, it's for people who eat those really shitty Takis.
So, but anyway, that's the thing. Any other questions from the?
Thank you, Typod. She sent $50 in. Thank you.
Well, that is a really nice thing to do, and
yes.
And let me tell you, in terms of this stuff. I mean, he jokes there, but it's that money goes to feed his ma and his pa.
Yeah, it's all about bills and stuff, man. Yeah, this time I made my living, and might not be. Sometimes it's a good living, sometimes it's not a good living. So I do it, this is, and I'm passionate about making people laugh. So if I can make a little money about entertaining people, that's all what it's about.
And what is it? Is in the chat. What is it you'd like to see? Do you have any suggestions for the morning?
Yeah. Once I get the OBS thing working, we're gonna have some more. I'm gonna bring up some segments and shit, and it'll look better. And I can be able to take. I may even set it up to where I can take calls and stuff and do prank calls. Sometimes we'll do all kinds of cool shit. We'll do some very cool shit. I promise you. It's gonna get better. It's gonna get better, babies. Monday, I also got another thing about Monday. Marshall Manson is going to be joining us Monday. So I might not bring Frank on Monday. I may bring Frank on the Tuesday show. or the Wednesday show, because that's well, I don't know. We may bring Frank on. We'll have let me see, Landon agreed, Vadim, Marshall. We can bring Frank. That's a good enough panel. Yeah, we can add another. I usually like to keep it around 4, maybe 5, and that's about it. Because you don't get too many people talking over each other and stuff like that. You hit that like button. Do what, baby?
Which one is the bearded lesbian?
That's Frank. No, the bearded lesbian. I don't know. We got the pudgy lesbian and the bearded homeless guy.
Oh, I got it.
That's their baby. They made love. Long, sweet, hard love.
Did what, hon? Lexus. What'd you say?
Oh, that's their baby, the bearded lesbian.
I thought the bearded lesbian was Tide Pod.
Gee, thanks.
I love you. You know I'm just playing.
Yeah, I know.
By the way, I was off by a factor of 10. It takes 1,000 years of wine production, not 100 years. But we've been having wine for many centuries. So I think there's been enough cork to reach from here to the sun. But it's 1,000 years, not 100 years. Sorry.
Absolutely.
You done goofed.
You done goofed.
Well, in astronomy, if you're within an order of magnitude, it's considered good enough.
That's how we land on comets, people.
Well, actually, yes, you need to be a little bit better than order of magnitude. Which is why landing on comets is difficult. But generally, when you're dealing with space, your uncertainties are sometimes within order of magnitude. So, but 4.5 times 3 billion times 1,000 years gives you a number of centimeters. You divide it by 100 and to give you meters, divided by 1,000 to get kilometers. You get 135 million, which is kind of close to the distance of the sun. It's actually closer to 149 million. So it may be like 1,300 years of cork production.
Nice.
But that's a lot of wine. Bacchus is the god of imbibing, is well fed.
The god of my balls are well fed. I don't even know what that meant. I'm sorry. I apologize. I should never say that ever again. I just touch my testicles.
Okay.
Let's check the Patreon. I didn't even check the Patreon. See if we got any new Patreons. No new Patreons. That's because people are horrible people in this channel. Tip via Streamlabs or PayPal, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Yeah, thank you, Batman. Which y'all should do that. Y'all should do that. We got 7 more minutes of the show. So if you have any more questions, feel free to ask. Feel free to tip. We needs that shit. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So I was looking to see, apparently Kyle Kalinske, or his name is, retweeted my tweet, but I don't know if I can't see it. That's cool, though. That's cool. Very, very cool. We've had a good show today, man. I thank you guys for joining. It was awesome.
It was fun.
It was a very good fan freaky Friday. Fan freaks. You're all fucking freaks, especially you, Oculus. Oculus is a devil lady. Devil lady, smoking crack babies.
I would never smoke a crack baby.
I would.
Maybe a meth baby.
A meth baby. Meth babies are awesome. There's meth babies everywhere around here. everywhere.
Same here.
Okay. I was typing to Benjamin as well. I was talking to you guys and Benjamin. Young Benjamin from the DPs. He's gay, by the way.
Yeah.
He looks like the gay. He looks like the gay member that Nirvana kicked out.
Makes a good trap.
He does. There's a reason for that.
He's cool as hell. Yeah, he's pretty cool guy. Anyways, people, it's been an awesome show. It really has. I've enjoyed it tremendously. I wish we could make $60 more in tips before I leave. 60 more. 10 people give $6 or 6 people give $10, and I will suck the cock of every penis on here. Every penis on the panel except Landon's, because that would be kind of like sucking my uncle or my brother's cock or my dad's dick. Which my dad's kind of sexy though.
Thank you kindly. So the calculation in I just put in the chat gives you the 1300 or 1100 some odd years.
That's so many numbers, Landon. I like stop after 2 numbers.
That's worth a tip.
That is worth a tip. So you should do it. I'm joking. Landon tips a lot. I was just joking.
Yeah. 149 million times 1,000 meters per kilometer times 100 centimeters per meter divided by 4.5 centimeters, the average length of a cork, times 3 divided by 3 billion gives you that.
I thought the average length of a cock was like 4.5.
Jamaicans have the largest average penis size in the world.
Well, they're all black.
Who is the smallest?
North Korea.
Asians. It's got to be Asians. I think the average white. I think the average white man's penis is what, 4.5 or 5, something like that.
I wouldn't know.
I think the average Caucasian cock is like, it's smaller than what most people think it's like 5.5. It's not. It's actually smaller. It's smaller than that.
Small.
Yeah. Hello there, Corky One and Bunny. Of course, I use metric. I converted to metric when I was 12, and it's not my fault that I live in a metrically challenged country.
It's not our fault that you fuckers can't metric.
Use that stupid Fahrenheit thing and those furlongs and drams and other weird measurements.
I can't even spell half that. Much less use it.
Of water poil.
Why do y'all call y'all's money pounds? I'm so stupid. I'm
actually, can you tell the reason for the origin of the word pound?
Do it if you got it, man. We got time.
Do you know?
I don't.
I don't.
I have no clue. You're from the UK. You're supposed to know this shit. Oculus.
I'm supposed to.
Yeah.
Oh.
Why are you so stupid?
I failed my country.
Yeah, damn. I know you always use it, but I'm still very happy you did. What is up? I hate drums. The phone. Corky, why are you talking in there, man? Oh, Corky's not in here. What am I wrong? I've mixed Corky and Tide Pod up. I'm so fucking stupid.
Yeah, the pharmacy stuff about grains and drams and drops and that sort of thing is a pretty arcane set of stuff. And there's also dry majors, all this fairly weird system where the metrics sort of the ones that makes sense.
Yeah. We're going to have to get Corky on the show sometime. Corky's pretty. She's cute. And she's corky. I mean, she's horny. That is not what that means, by the way. I don't know what the corky one actually means. What is corky one? What is corky? Why we're talking about corks? Isn't it funny you were talking about wine corks, then corky one shows up? There's a conspiracy there that I'm too fucking lazy to come up with right now.
So, people that are asking about where the pound came from.
Yeah.
It's actually a Anglo-Saxon term. It was equivalent to 240 silver pennies. That was in weight equivalent to 1 pound of silver. So if you want to know about inflation, just look at the pound of silver. A pound was 20 shillings or 240 silver pennies. And so at that time, time and penny production, they weighed about 22.5 troy grains of fine silver. But there's other pounds and other currencies that have different things. But it was introduced by Charlemagne.
What's up, underground? Okay, how you? Well, we've went over the shot. We've done a half an hour or more. I'm trying to finish that stream. Go with tips, good. So if you got any more science shit you want to talk about real quick, let's do it. We'll do it. If you guys are up for it, we'll go another 30. We'll have a 3-hour show today.
Hey, DP Underground, how you doing?
Are you guys good with another 30 minutes?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to do it. Well, now it's 28 minutes. In 28 minutes, the show ends, and we've done a 3-hour show today. Kind of fun show. That's what Fridays are about, though. It's, bring on the fans. We get really random and goofy, and just whatever we talk about. And try to make tips where I can get a hooker. It's all about prostitutes. That's another thing Landon told me about. He says, don't ever get in a relationship, just go with hookers. You remember telling me that, Landon?
I guess so.
See?
So here's the thing, for example, that the pound isn't what it used to be, because it used to be that, the penny was 22.5 troy grains. And then, later on, in the time of Henry III, it was reduced in size, and it was reduced by the time of Henry IV to 15 grains, and it's further reduced to 12 grains in 1464. So the pound isn't what it used to be.
It isn't what it used to be. It ain't worth shit to me. All I need is some coochie, because the pound ain't what it used to be.
So, by the time you got to Henry VIII, it was reduced to 60 shillings of coins, and so forth. And on and on it goes. So
Henry VIII, you say?
Yeah.
Henry VIII, I am.
So I wonder, had there been social justice warriors at the time of Henry VIII, what would have happened?
Oh, fuck. Dude, we were kind of talking about that. They're like, if the social, certain, just take Lenny Bruce, right? Look what the SJWs would have done to Lenny Bruce. Oh, my God. He wouldn't have been famous, I don't think. He wouldn't have made it as far. I would love to see Landon read some of the cards, all the cards of humanity.
Cards Against Humanity is a fun group. They used to do these marvelous. If you did a donation, they'd send you these gift packs where you receive one each day for the days of Hanukkah or the days of Christmas or something, and you get all these weird things. And one of the things we got was a part of a castle in Ireland. And if anyone knows what a castle in Ireland means, it's an interesting.
Well, I've never played Cards Against Humanity. However, I said $60 when we go. If we make $100 before the show, another $100, one another, I'll have to get the cards And I don't know when I'll set it up, but I'll do a Cards Against Humanity stream one day.
There you go.
It has to be a few weeks, but I will do it.
And you basically get various people on to challenge them on those cards.
Yeah, we'll get people on. We'll do Cards Against Humanity. Sure will. We got to make $100 in the next however minutes, 20-something minutes, 25 minutes, I guess. I'm smoking butts because I'm out of cigarettes. That's the Oculus's fault.
That's why you got a tip.
Yeah, I got a tip on my dick. What? Landon's perverted.
He is.
I just say random shit sometimes. Tide Pod.
Yo.
Have you ever, are you wanted by the laws? Are you wanted by the FBI?
Shh. Shh. They'll hear you.
Yeah. That's pretty good. Be right back. I need to piss. I maybe shouldn't have read that out loud because she typed it right. Oculus is leaking.
So, for example, did you know that grains per gallon is a unit of water hardness?
Good.
No, I know it don't take that much saliva to get me hardness. I did not know that, Landon. You're smart. Let's see. It's a fun game. We'll try it out, Josh. If we make that 100, but only if we make that 100. Damn, I have been there. She's been there, whatever she meant. What happened to the Irish dude, man? He just left us. I think Landon offended him. No, he didn't.
Sorry.
You want to be smart like Landon? I hear you, Corky. We all want to be smart like Landon. How much away we from the 100? We're 100 away from the 100. I'm saying if I made 100, as soon as I got to make 100 more right now. $100 more away. That's how much we need. We need 100. The other tips don't count. That was something different. This is for that. Irish dude said his phone died. I think. Oh, okay. Well, he's a cool guy to bring him back on. Low energy. He seemed like a really cool guy. I liked him. Not as much as I like Oculus, but I liked him. Underground says he wish he could be as nice as Landon. Landon is a nice guy, but I have seen Landon get a little bit pissed off too, and not be so nice. I seen him stab a black dude.
You did?
Yeah, you don't remember that?
I guess not.
He goes into blind fits of fury.
Yeah, and he forgets everything he does. You know, I think at the time he shot up at movie theater in Colorado. Oh, that wasn't him. Never mind. That was a different guy.
So, if you talk about the history of British currency and pennies and so forth, there's a decree that you see that's made on in the Act of British Parliament, where there's actually on the wall there's a definition in actually also in Guildhall as well, where there's the British yard and the foot and the inch and that sort of thing, and it says by the consent of the whole realm the King's Majors was made, so that the English penny, which shall be called sterling, so the pound sterling, round without chipping, because people used to take a coin and kind of shave off the edges to sort of keep for themselves.
Yeah,
shall weigh 32 grains of wheat dry in the midst of the ear. So you think about a grain, the little ones at the top don't count. So you have to take the grains in the middle of the stalk. 32 grains of wheat is the amount of silver that the sterling would weigh. 20 pennies make an ounce, and 20 ounces make a pound. So the British pound was 20 pennies times 20 ounces. Excuse me. I'm sorry. 20 pennies make an ounce. 12 ounces make a pound.
Yeah.
So you had 120 pennies make the pound, where a penny is weight of 32 grains of dry wheat, though in the middle of the year.
Cool. I'm sending the big 100 bomber. Okay. Oh, you'll send in the 100? All right. Well, I get the 100 in a couple of weeks. I promise we'll do the card. I got to get the cards and everything, and I have to set up the day and figure out who I want to bring on. If you do it, I'll definitely do it.
In fact, if you would have come on, if you send it right now, I'm sure Pimpmunk would love to invite you on if you want to play Cards Against Humanity.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he can come on and play it with us that day. Yeah. And like I said, now it'll be a few weeks. I can't do it immediately because I don't even have the cards. I've never done it. So we'll have to get it together and figure out how we're going to do it, when we're going to do it. Yeah. But yeah, absolutely.
There's also a website, as you point out. You can do that online.
Oh, really? We'll figure something out.
Actually, do you know that URL of that site? We do the online game.
Now, I want to say this. The money that I'm making today is not VidCon money. It's money that goes to that. Unless I make a lot more than I think, that I'll add some to the VidCon thing. But right now, I'm trying to make house money. But I will take a little bit out of it and put it on VidCon if I make enough, because I do really want to go to VidCon so bad. I want to go, like, and honestly, another thing is, it's been a minute since I got a little punani. And I need to go out there and get some punani. I need some punani.
Hey, once you go trans, you don't want punani.
So for those that don't understand the thing, you know, the Cards Against Humanity started off with literally a card. For example, brutal thing is, they say, here's a card. It says, for my next trick, I will pull blank out of blank. And so you're getting all these cards with these weird words. And so for someone might say a card that says anal beads, and exactly what you'd expect. Right? So I will pull, for my next trick, I will pull anal beads out of exactly what you'd expect. Right? And so that's what, so you have these cards with these blanks, and then you have cards with various weird words that you then go and add to be your play.
Mama yell at me.
And it's meant to be corny, you know, hilarious, and sometimes inappropriate, depending on your appropriateness. But
it's a fun game.
And did you send it? Because I'm not seeing that Vash. Or was that Vash? Vash. I ain't sending that. So if you send it, you just send it. Because I got to go here in a minute. Because Mama Pimp, you yelled at me. She said, "God damn, boy, how long you going?" She wanted me to go somewhere with her.
Hello there, Mama Pimp.
She ain't in there. She won't beat me up, Landon. I'm scared. That little short woman will knock the fuck out of you, too, boy. It's on your PayPal now. Cool. Pimp, I sent you the link to see. Oh, card. Okay, she sent it to me. So, well, I'll check that out. And we'll set it up. And like I said, go ahead.
Thank you very, very much.
Oh, yeah.
Very appreciate it, and look forward to seeing the Cards Against Humanity.
And I got to set it up and figure it all out. Yeah, thank you. He sent it. Yeah. Absolutely.
And if you send Pimpmunk also the link for this online, then we can do a online version otherwise.
He said, "Here you go. I honestly think you're going to be awesome at Cards Against Humanity." Well, thank you so much, man. That was very awesome of you.
Look forward to that.
Yeah. So I'm going to be able to do a few. Actually, I'm going to be able to do a couple things around here today. So that's very good. Now, after I get this taken care of, the stuff I need to take care of, I'm going to focus on VidCon for the next few days. If I don't get to go, I'm fine. I'll be okay. But it is it's important. It's important. So I'm going to try to go. If I don't go, I'm going to blame Alexis.
I'm fine with that, honestly.
No, you're not. You'll be depressed.
I already am. Ha! Got him.
Yeah. 3 cheers for Vash. Yeah. Hip hip, you're gay. Hip hip, you're gay. Hip hip, you're gay. Yeah, thank you so much, buddy. I appreciate it. Yeah, absolutely. It's awesome. And like I said, this is not it's how when I make my money like this is how I pay bills, feed us, and all this good shit. So it's awesome. And I think I may have enough to take once I get all the stuff taken care of around here, I am gonna work on the VidCon thing. Look at that. I got ashes on my fucking finger. I put my hand in an ashtray on accident.
Yeah. One of the phrases that Cards Against Humanity Online talks about is indulge your inner douchebag.
Well, I do that quite a bit, actually. You're bi, actually. Oh, he's bi. So he sucks penis?
Who doesn't? It's 2018.
I don't suck penis.
Yeah, everyone's bi now.
That's true. A lot of people do claim to be bi. I think, yeah. I think bi is just selfish.
Is it?
Yeah, you want it all. Why can't you just stick with one thing? If you want dick, get dick. If you want pussy, get pussy. Why you gotta have all of it?
Some days you want one over the other.
I'm just kidding. Annunziata says she doesn't suck penis, but she likes the vagina, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you should also put yet behind that. Because you never know. One day you may have a dick in your mouth. That's a quote right there. You never know. One day you may have a dick in your mouth. Sometimes you want both, says Josh. Well, that's true. But, it's like putting a hot dog winner in a taco shell. I don't know why I just said that. That was stupid. Just pretend that it wasn't said. It will be all right. Sometimes you double team a chick too. Yeah. Well, I've done that, but we didn't touch tips. I just had a domino fall of bottles. I've got all these bottles on my desk that I need to throw away. Yay for bottles. I never know. I may want to become a... Well, we'll see. We'll see. How about your non-virginity? Okay. Anyways, guys, I'm trying to keep the show. Well, we went almost an hour over today, so I must like soda. I absolutely love soda. Soda's the greatest invention ever.
Soda pop.
It's just soda.
Soda pop.
It's soda. It shouldn't be called pop, ever.
It's pop.
It's not. It's soda.
It's pop. It's pop.
Soda.
Pop.
It's a delicious sody pop.
Sody pop, yeah. Sody. Anyways, guys, we're going to end this because I'm getting tired of that. My mom needs me to go somewhere. It was a great show today. Absolutely phenomenal show. I thank everybody on the panel for joining me. You guys were awesome. It was a great Fan Friday. Make sure you watch Monday's show. Vadim Newquist, Landon, Marshall Manson, and possibly Frank from the Geek Room. We're going to be on the show. Tuesday, we're supposed to have Ben, and I can't remember the other chick's name, but I'll get it for you. And some other people. Wednesday, GDR and other people. So that should be a good week. Good week indeed. So make sure you check out the channel this weekend. I'm sure I'll be streaming at some random point or other. So for now, Sopapod. Bunny said it's Sopapod. There you go, Sopapod. But anyways, guys, thank you all. Appreciate you. Thank you for the love. See you later. Bye-bye.